problem with Facebook. Let's see if we can fix this really quickly. All right, so we should have Facebook in now. I don't know why Facebook always kind of starts finicky with the show. It is also available on YouTube. I'm going to start sharing the YouTube link. So when Facebook is acting funny, I can still bring people in. I see myself. Okay, there we go. Outlaw Radio, man. How y'all doing tonight? Hope y'all have had a good weekend. Hope everything is going well for you. I'm very happy to be here. It's always good to still be alive. Man, very interesting weekend, to say the least. A very interesting time to be a Black person in the United States of America. There's always headlines. There are always stories on multiple fronts. So, we can always assemble and have a conversation. Please, please, please share the show. I have a phone number attached to the show. The phone number is 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. Chat room pops. Share the show. It's on YouTube, the People's Network with a Z. It's all over YouTube. My government page. We have a People's Network group, Facebook group. We have a People's News Network Facebook group. And we have Outlaw Radio, the Facebook page. So get in line, check out the show. I should say get online. Not get in line, but get online and check out the show, man. Mondays and Wednesdays is when we normally do shows. I do 2 a week, Mondays and Wednesdays. That's why I love Mondays so much, because when I come back, it's like, okay, I've been off, since last Wednesday, and it usually things have built up in terms of the things that we discuss. Tonight is no different. A lot of big news over the weekend since we were last on. So we're going to talk about that. Once again, the number is 262-202-5131. You can jump in the chat room if you don't want to call. So what are we talking about? Because people always ask me, you have a podcast, right? It's like, yeah, it's called Outlaw Radio. Well, what do y'all talk about? We talk about Black people shit. I identify as a foundational Black American. So I'm pretty much going to speak to things that are pertinent and important to us, and it's not necessarily pop bubblegum mainstream media. And a lot of times it's tough conversations on Outlaw Radio because, it's hard to tell the truth, and not try to be like I'm not a next world guru or something like that. I'm not like a super innocent. I'm straight up and down. Like, I'm a product of my environment, just like most of my people are. And I'm fully entrenched in my community. At least my roots are. I can't necessarily say I live in the trenches now. No. And that's not the plan anyways. If you know this game, the name of it is to get in and get out. So, but I'm definitely rooted in the community. So once again, if you'd like to participate in the show, 262-202-5131 is the number. Y'all got something y'all want to talk about? It's Monday. It's live. It's a little loose. It's messy Monday. Phone lines are open if you want to call in and as they say, you want to get at something. You can get it off your chest. You want to kick somebody back in? Call in. Say what's on your mind. Be heard. Be accounted for. Jeff Crape in the chat room. I see you, big homie, down there in Texas. He's from the mill, but he's down there in Texas. Known Jeff for a very long time. What up, my brother? How you doing? Dion, he said, damn, Kev, I was about to call you. What was you calling me for, Dion? What was you calling Kev for on a Monday? Oh, you thought I wasn't coming on. Okay. Y'all, I'm here. So share the show. Let people know. Let's get in here because this conversation is going to be, I feel like, something that everybody has an opinion on. Most of these conversations are. ENC Jordan said, I can't text you anymore. LOL. Why not? Why can't you text me? I can't text you anymore. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. Why you say that? Why you say that, Ian? You can't text me anymore. Is your phone broken? I want to start out tonight talking about Diddy, Puffy, Brother Love, whatever he calls himself, right? Sean Combs. I want to start out talking about Puffy tonight because we all watched this whole trial play out, and all of Puffy's business was put out into the streets. Everything you wanted to know about his private life, his sexual escapades. I mean, the brother was living what some would consider foul, right? But without being hypocritical, when we talk about celebrities in the United States of America, we know that rich people, privileged people, famous people live a lot of times a life of debauchery. Like they freak on a level that a normal person can't freak on because that person doesn't have access to the financials, right? So once you become this star and you have this influence and you have this power, I guess power, I don't know that powers if a black man, if they'll ever let one of us get some power. But whatever limited access you have to the machine, somebody like Puffy, because obviously he had access. But a lot of celebrities, history is full of celebrities having freak offs. Celebrities being top-notch freaks, doing the nastiest, doing the most perverse. Men of power, kings, queens. They do these kinds of things. I'm not absolving Puffy. I'm not exonerating him. I'm saying what he was doing was what a lot of famous people were scared. They were scared that they would be exposed because there was a lot of celebrities who were at these freak offs. And in the beginning of this trial, you had all of these charges. There was supposed to be him. He got charged. So he got charged with a RICO Act, right? Which is really basically running a criminal empire. So there was supposed to be evidence of drug dealing. There's supposed to be evidence of underage young ladies, people who were forced, rape, assault, foul money practices. None of that was proven. A lot of it wasn't even brought up in his trial. Now, of course, the court of public opinion we had already judged Puffy when we seen what he did to Cassie. All of us was like, fuck, dude. You foul for beating on a sister like that. That's some foul shit. You stomping her, you kicking her. So in our minds, whatever they said he done, we was like, yeah, he did that shit. He did it. Deion said shit be so crazy. He said, bro, shit be so crazy out here. Ain't no need to be messy. We need to strategize. Yeah, it's easier said than done. I think brothers and sisters would rather be messy. Trust me. It's easier. So back to Puffy. And I kept saying during his trial, this is like the weakest RICO I've ever seen in my life. I didn't hear anything. No matter the testimony that came from Cassie and some of the other people who said, yo, he flew me out to this party and it was like, a 4-day event and we had to get IVs because we just at it for days. He had baby oil and that's what he had most, baby oil. Like that was like he had a few guns. There was light drugs, but what made the news the most was that he had a bunch of baby oil. Okay. And so this trial is going and I'm listening and yeah, some gory details, the whole thing about, you know what I'm saying, allowing a male prostitute to copulate on your girl and then you lick it off. I'm sorry, Puff. I'm sorry. That for me, in terms of hip hop, that forever fouls you. I don't judge anybody for what they do, but I also won't fuck with you if you do certain things. Okay. So but the Puff was like, all of this shit was out there and we was all saying, oh, what a disgusting freak. But is that a crime? If it's not underage individuals, if it's not by force, by threat, by, hey, do this or I'm dumping you in a ditch, right? If it's, hey, I give you $50 to do this and you say, all right, cool, I'll do it. Well, who's wrong? Let's be honest and not like I'm not trying to spit cliches. Prostitution is literally the oldest crime because there's always been a man with 2 nickels and a woman that need 10 cents. so, so now the whole abuse thing, and people say mental manipulation and victimization, and I was just listening at her, and at a certain point, and I'm speaking of Cassie, it sounded like she was more gone and wilding out than he was. As a matter of fact, part of the testimony was that he was kind of saying, yo, I'll fall back, I need to chill. She was like, nah. She was setting them up. She was setting them up. But and also he had given her what, 20-30 million dollars. And so now you got all of the testimony was basically like, and even the girl who said he raped her was there 5, 6 more years. And they're like, well, why would you get texts where you say, I love you so much. You're the best person I know. Okay. Either this is one hell of a case of Stockholm syndrome or some bullshit, right? The jury felt like it was some bullshit. He beat the RICO Act. That's what was supposed to carry the life sentences. So what he was found guilty of was, in essence, the Mann Act. Y'all know what the Mann Act is? Y'all ever heard the name Jack Johnson? Okay. Black heavyweight champion, maybe the first undisputed black heavyweight champion, long time ago. Straight up rebel. Won't call him a revolutionary because I don't know. I don't have detail on what he did specifically for the people, but he was definitely a rebel. He fought through the struggle, but he had it on him, and he was the heavyweight champion of the world. And he was ultimately taken down by having a white woman, ironically, who was from Milwaukee. She was from Milwaukee, traveling around with her. I guess she had been a prostitute here in Milwaukee. And was charged with the Mann Act, transporting a prostitute across state lines. So people said, well, in light of all the shit we know he did, let's just give it all to him on the Mann Act. Let's give him 14 years. That is not how the law works. It's not how it works. And I kept saying that. And people saying, Kevin, we don't care about the process because we saw what he did to Cassie. That was true. Yes, we saw what he did to Cassie. We saw that. But that's not how the law works. So ultimately, everybody's been waiting. He goes to court last weekend. Of course, he thought he was going to bail. Nah. People said he's going to get 11, 12 years. He basically got 4 years with 14 months already served, which brought it down to, I believe, 36. Yeah, 50 months. I'm sorry. Brought it down to 36. And I believe that there's some concessions that since it's federal, he only has to do 85% of his time, which looks like he'll do 2 to 2.5 years, depending on whether or not his lawyers can successfully appeal this. So he is not going to jail like people thought he was. Now I keep hearing people say when Puffy come home, somebody getting their ass whooped. I don't know about that. If I was Puff, you come home, you still got the money, get out the spotlight, go somewhere, enjoy your bread, and invest on the low. Like people should turn around and say, I didn't even know he owned that. All your really flossing days and all that kind of shit is over. I think your relationship with hip hop as a hip hop mogul is over. I think musically he was already on CPR career wise, because when was the last time Puffy had a hit record? He was rich in other ways because he's a businessman. So he'll come home. People were upset. But I love DL Hughley's take on it because he gave the same example of white MAGA Trump supporter who was a high profile individual who was having sex with an 8-year-old girl, 8 years old, proven in court. He was given 6 months. Okay. A lot of us running around, black people, we want Puffy to go to jail. Why send that nigga to jail? Meanwhile, on the other side, they skating on these things that's way worse. Trump has 34 felonies, and he was just basically adjudicated for sexual harassment in a department store. But you want Puffy to go to jail. Not saying Puffy was living foul. I mean, I wasn't living foul. I mean, all signs point to him being a sick individual with some issues. But there's a lot of sick individuals with issues. They just don't have no bread. Okay. So y'all tell me how y'all feel about Puff. Y'all think he should have caught that time? I know some people would say, Kev, I don't care. But it is relevant because when we start to talk about Epstein, when we start to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell getting her appeal turned down by the Supreme Court, you're going to have to sing it or bring it, Ghislaine. And she already said, well, no, Trump ain't in there. It's all good. And, actually, Epstein didn't do nothing. Why are you locked up then? Why are you locked up, Ghislaine? Obviously, something was there. So this Epstein thing is getting, they want it to go away. They want it to go away, but it's not. And so I connect Puffy because Puffy is a rich, a wealthy brother who actually had a relationship with Trump. Maybe Puffy even knew something. Maybe he even knew something, as they say in New York. Maybe he even knew something. Maybe he knew, boom, 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 and they said, nah, if we sit him down for 12 years, he for sure gonna talk. Not that they couldn't get to you, they got to Epstein himself, right? But I think the law for what he was convicted for, I think that's a sentence. I think that's a justifiable sentence. I think once you didn't prove that RICO, everything else was out the door. And I kept saying during the trial, yeah, he's sick. Yeah, he's a pervert. But this don't seem like a criminal organization to me, unless they was like the Booty Gang or something. And they was riding around, you know what I'm saying? Banging out on virgins or something. I don't know. I didn't see this as something that made him unsafe. So y'all let me know how y'all feel in the chat room or call in. Ian Jordan say 3 prostitutes say Trump was there. I'm sure they done party together. Come on, man. Like Mama Jenkins in the chat room, she said, good evening, my Outlaw family. He beat the real case. His money, that's what they want. I'm not saying what he did was great, but that slut got paid for that ass whipping. She didn't leave after that. She came back for more. Something wasn't right with this. As far as his time, he got it, more to it. Yeah, that he got more to it. Yeah, I mean, but you see, I'm glad you said that, Mama Jenkins, as a woman, because if a man says something like that, it sounds callous. If I say she got paid for that ass whooping, her any kind of context I put that ass whooping she took in any context besides me saying that's a damn shame a man should never touch a woman, I'd be vilified for it. Absolutely. And maybe rightfully so. I mean, maybe, as a man, then we have to keep that kind of like in check. We need balance on, it got to be a very extreme case for you to hit a woman. Like, and it shouldn't happen. It should never happen. But if it does, it's like, yo. But I mean, I wasn't fooled. Like, I didn't feel like she was that kind of victim, even after she admitted, y'all, that she has contacted this brother since she's been married with kids. Most embarrassed baby daddy in the country. You saved her. She's still hollering at old Sean. Crazy, man. And people like, now why R. Kelly still? Now black people say, why R. Kelly still locked up? Well, R. Kelly, there was accusations that he was messing with young girls. And there was some evidence that there was some involvement with young girls, and he was known. I mean, that was kind of like one of his things. So that's why he's locked up. They knew R. Kelly, they had him. As long as they can get some of those women to say, yeah, I was underage when he touched me. Boom, you gone. But yeah, so let's move. If we can just move forward. I look at a lot of this stuff as distractions because of the Epstein thing. I'm for real. And I think people who really are in the know will get pacified if they have legal issues, or will get compensated if they don't. If they're just somebody who's in the know, like, yo, I got a picture of me, you know what I'm saying, at a party, and we all like, ah. Those people, I believe, will be taken care of very well, very well. So yeah, y'all call in. Let me know what y'all think about that. What else we got? Oh, I call this now the Battle of Chicago. What's really going on with Chicago and Trump? What's really going on with ICE? You see this story where they took Black Hawk helicopters and rappelled down on the roof of an apartment complex, went door to door, snatched all the people, women and children included, out early in the morning. held them out there until 3 in the morning. Yo, what's going on? And then we see the mayor of Chicago, what's his name? Johnson. Mayor Johnson over there. He's come back and he's like, yo, no, he's trying to get laws passed. He's trying to make anti-ICE zones, anything that city owned, I guess. Like parking lots, buildings, structures, they can't be in there. This is crazy. They're coming out saying the crime is actually down by 35% in Chicago. But I guess Chicago at one point had a severe problem with illegal immigrants because they were a sanctuary city, which says to me, if we're a sanctuary city and we receive money and funding to house immigrants or what illegals or whatever you call it, and that's what we're doing, we don't have an immigration problem. We have an immigration policy that our leaders have agreed to. So when you say that's a problem, the feds need to step in. I believe the people that are directly in charge need to make some changes. If there was regulation needed, we know your boy Trump brings extreme xenophobia to the table. That's just what he does. You know, it's an anti-sentiment for anybody who's not white. And 2 million black people voted for Donald Trump. Let that sink into your head. 2 million black people in this country voted for Donald Trump. It was a small percentage. I mean, we still voted 86% plus for Kamala and the Democrats, but 2 million black people either heard something, seen something, or knew something that I just did not. There's 2 million more black people in this country that are way smarter than me because I did not. But yeah, so I don't know. And you know, it was supposed to be about the crime. And now you're hearing about people in the community mobilizing, some street dudes who want to lock up. And you know, you have to be very careful with that as well, because, you know, when we start talking about the United States military, you know, and doing, like, if you fire on those National Guardsmen, you get the ups on them, or you fire on the ICE agents, it's basically going to authorize Trump to send in the Marines or the Army or whatever, what have you, which would then be the beginning of what we said would be a civil war. But it would be more of the military against the people. That doesn't sit right with me. This is something we need to think about when it comes to these midterms, and not making sure we don't empower him and his ability to run our representation in Washington. You know what I'm saying? Like Congress, we have to, the House, we got to get these, and these judges. we have to get these people out of here. This is Mama Jenkins. She said, was she taking his belongings? They said he had a bag of jewelry. I had heard a story that whooping, or that attack, I should say, was because she had done something with some jewelry and like thrown some stuff out the window, or I don't know. It was supposedly something behind that story, which, I mean, does it really matter what's behind it? I mean, you're a billionaire. And she threw, you know, it's the Chris Brown Rihanna thing again, where Chris Brown renting a Lambo. I guess Rihanna takes the keys and throws them. She didn't deserve to get her butt whooped like she did, but I wasn't there, so I don't know if she threw the keys and fired on him. You know, because, you know, sometimes sisters, when they go there on you, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I never wanted to justify that either. But I heard so many people say, well, what'd she do? What did she actually do? I don't know. But it was something that she tried to escape with some money. That was part of the story, Mama Jenkins, I guess. I mean, but, you know, just to snatch her up and throw her down but dragging her and kicking her. But once again, he was not convicted of that. That's not what he was on trial for. If it had been that and he got off, I'd have said, see, that's that bullshit. What you mean ain't no domestic violence here? We got him on tape. It would have been like the cops in LA back in 92. And we said, yo, how they get found not guilty and you got him on tape? We got you on tape. So, yeah. My Mama Jenkins says, what the hell is wrong with these pissy ass white Republicans? Do they realize that this shutdown is going to hurt us all? We all got to pay bills and eat. Whoo, Mama Jenkins, that is the $1 million question. What's wrong with white Republicans, black Republicans? Some people might say, what's wrong with white people, period? From mass shootings and, political violence. Crazy thing is they're saying political violence, but they are the biggest offenders of it. They always have been. So, what is wrong with, I just said what I said a couple weeks ago. I said, white people need to know we're all side-eyeing them. That's a side eye. You know what I'm saying? The world leaders are side-eyeing our government. The whole world is looking at America funny right now. Like, what the hell is going on over there? They was always crazy, but this is some new shit, right? This is new. Go to chat. A said that's what he's trying to do. Him and Netanyahu want to cause a civil war because of the discourse against Israel. By the way, said Rihanna gave Chris Brown herpes. Whoa. Is that true? Where'd you get that from, Ace? Is that true? I don't know that that's true. Because if somebody, listen, I don't want to, because I don't believe in, physically attacking women, but for somebody to give you herpes, yo, is that not worth an ass? Well, let me stop. I like to see some substantial proof of that she gave him herpes, Ace. Brenda Peterson said, I see you, Kev. How you doing, Brenda? How you doing? Ace says, shit here is not going to change until we return the same energy they are giving to us. What does that mean? What does that mean, Ace? Suggesting what? Give them what? So we should shoot at them? Just randomly? We should be attacking white people? I don't see that as the necessary method or solution. I don't think we should randomly start attacking white people. I think we should be ready to deal with problems as they come. Okay? Meaning being proactive as opposed to reactive. So like I said, if you got the right to bear arms, like short sleeves, please do so. See that? That's a Jay-Z quote. Like short sleeves, I bear arms. That's the classic, Brooklyn's finest. But yeah, I think we need to be able to defend ourselves. I think we need to be in a position where we have legal representation. And I also believe that we need to put an emphasis on getting the right litigators in place, getting the right people in office who are going to support our best interests. I don't know if that's a Republican. I don't know if that's a Democrat. All I know is right now, it ain't looking like it's going to come from the Republican side of the court. And when I really take a look at Democrats, I don't know that it'll come from there either. I think when it comes to us, it has to be somebody who is independent of both parties with our energy behind he or she, our votes behind he or she. Because, come on, let's be honest. Where we go, people are going to follow. There will be a lot of liberals, a lot of white people, a lot of Latinos, a lot of minorities. If we were throwing our support behind someone, they'd rock with us. We could put a dent in an election, I'm trying to tell you. Brenda Peterson says, Democrats got to hold the line until the Republicans show they are not touching all health care, WIC, and food stamps. They're already touching all that, ain't they? He said, damn well that's not what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to defend them. Wait, that's not what you're saying. That's what you're saying. To defend yourself, representation is bullshit because neither one of these parties are caring that we are innocent. Well, I mean, you could be that type of person who says representation don't mean nothing. You're welcome to that opinion. You're welcome to that. I believe representation matters. especially if you exercise the power of the people behind it. The problem is, up until this point, we haven't gotten behind ourselves and pushed ourselves. And if it's not about representation, then what are you doing a government that is built on people being represented? What plan do you have? You said it ain't about attacking white people. You said it's about defending yourself. A lot of us already are defending ourselves. A lot of us already, when they come at us racially, we go right back at them. How far has that gotten us? So what were you talking about? You said, I know damn well. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not in your head. Ace. Mama Jenkins said, I like the proactive approach because it's just a matter of time that they destroy their party. Yeah, see, black people, one thing about us, and I love my people so much. I am the Negro whisperer. But we are just really reactive. It's just true. I said we. I didn't say y'all. We're emotionally charged and we're very reactive. A lot of times in our own communities, we see the signs, but we wait until something happens. And then it's like, oh, let's go. Well, you know what's about to happen. That's very much reactive. Instead of kind of setting up things early on that address certain issues. If you know you're in a community where the kids are underserved and you know that these homes are not complete, strong family units, there should be a lot of mechanisms in place for helping families in the community, in neighborhoods, not just one that represents a 50, 60, 70 block radius. I'm talking about more individualized units in the community, houses in the community, places in the community that are set up to perform this. So I think we have to take a more proactive. See, I love when people tell me what ain't gonna work, but they never tell me what will. That's my favorite kind of conversation. Dion, what's going on, man?
Shit, you already know I'm calling to tell you what ain't gonna work. What I was about to say. No, but you know what though, for real though, I was listening to, who was I listening to? Was it Karen Hunt or Roland Martin? It was one of them. So they was talking about how see, first of all, we're in this situation, and this is my personal opinion. There ain't no facts behind it or nothing. This is my personal opinion. We had a lot of people that sat at home, but we also had people. First of all, we had people that wanted to vote for what's the guy name? I can't, Dr. Cornel West. Then we also had those infamous people. They're like, well, the Democrats is not doing anything for me, so ain't no need for me to blah, blah, blah. They tried to hold a vote hostage because they felt like the Democrats weren't doing anything. And basically everything that Trump is doing, did you see that he finally come out and admitted to Project 2025? That he know about, that he's acknowledging Project 2025? See, this is a terrible game they playing. You know what I'm saying? And how can I say this? And then like one person said, you know, and I never really thought about it. Trump been what you call that? He been when he lost in what was that 2020, he had been campaigning since then. You know what I'm saying? But also everything that they doing, they've been strategizing for many years. We could damn near say, what, 400 years plus, ever since Reconstruction, they've been trying to figure things out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that Project 2025 shit is real, and the Heritage Foundation. Then you got the Daughter of the Confederates. Then you got Confederates. You got so many think tanks just behind that. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of people, you know, I heard somebody say one day that Trump this, Trump that, but Trump isn't intellectually smart enough to know how to implement these things. It was people behind him. You feel what I'm saying? They put him into office. So, you know, it just is what it is, though. But it's definitely getting serious. It's getting dire day by day. And like you was just saying not too long ago, you was like, well, you know, hopefully we're not going to have no fair election come 2026. Believe that. We'll see everything that's wrong with it, but it ain't going to be no fair election. It definitely ain't, though.
Maybe I hear people now that are expressing concern that what's about to happen for the next election. I hear people concerned about that, saying this won't be fair. That they believe that somewhere along this path, Trump will eventually attack the very structure of elections so that it'll favor him. But he's very old. I don't know how long he's gonna listen. I'm not wishing that on nobody. I don't know how long he want to be president, because ain't he like 80 now, 79?
Yeah, but he has set the blueprint though. So it doesn't take, you know what I'm saying? All they got to do is take somebody just to come up in there and basically do identically what he did.
So let me ask you a
Follow
question.
the playbook.
I believe, this is my like you said, this is my personal belief. I believe once he's gone, everything he set up is gone.
No.
I believe that once this whole thing flips, whoever comes, and I don't believe that a person on that side of the fence in his camp will succeed to the presidency. I believe because America's finicky, Dion. Yeah, okay, 4 years, yeah, but then they'll flip on your ass. And nah, we don't want that no more. And so if people just go in and say, hey, no, we're gonna make sure this is changed. It's happened before. So we don't know, but I mean, I would hope. Hold on once, Dion. Hold on. Is this Ian?
No, it's not Ian.
Okay.
It's Ace, man.
Okay. I mean, it's funny because it's Arizona. Because it's Arizona. So no, I never know who it is. I never know who it is. So that's why I always ask. I always make sure.
Listen.
Who we got? Okay, my phone just took a dump. Feel free to hit me back. Phone lines are open. Ace, hit me right back because it dropped you. I know y'all gonna say Kevin did it, but the phone dropped you, so it wasn't me. Sometimes his phone does this. I'm in the process of getting me a new phone, y'all. And like I said, if you really want to see me with a better phone, hit the Cash App. I'll go get me a new phone tomorrow. Hold on, Orlando, because I can't load everybody at once. I want Ace to call back because Ace was in the middle of making a statement. So let's leave the line free so Ace can call back. Ace, hit the line. Hold on. Okay, Ace, hit the line. I want you to be able to finish your statement. In the meantime, I can go to my chat room. This is he said Brenda, I wasn't what you were saying. That's what the shutdown is about. Oh, I get that. That's what they were fighting over, the Medicaid and the healthcare and the Obama subsidies and who would be eligible.
Yeah, but you know what though? That's a false narrative that it's about they want to give illegal immigrants health care. Because when Ronald Reagan was in office, he had signed something that allowed, like, say, if they had to go to the emergency room, he allowed no one to be turned away from health care. But now, Kim, hold on before what's the name called back. Now, you said that you believe that when Trump is out of office, that his Republican constituents is not going to carry on.
That's not what I said. Hold on. That's not what I meant. Hold on. Okay, Dion.
What's up, man?
Dion. What I was saying was, it's not that Republicans won't carry on. I'm not saying that. I'm saying his way of doing things and the people that really supported him, I don't believe their influence will continue. I believe because so many people, because you look at the farmers, you look at how many people have really been burnt by this administration, and some even on his side, but they right now, everybody's kind of scared to say anything because they don't want repercussions. I'm saying at the end of the day, people are going to look at Trump's presidency as a big mistake. And I don't think people are going to want to repeat it. It might be to the point where that kind of thought, that political violence that we talking about gets elevated to the point to say, nah, we're not having that. So I know there'll always be people like Trump and Republicans and conservatives who want to kind of roll like that. I'm not saying it's going to disappear. I'm saying the country's sentiment towards this kind of thing will change. So now, Ace, go ahead. Let me get you
what,
in.
though?
Hold on. Let me get Ace because I was trying to hear his comment. What was you saying, Ace?
I think you just took me the wrong way, man. Because like when I said we have to return the energy, it's basically return the energy. We have to defend ourselves. That's number one. And we can't just sit there and be like, hey, shit, that wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it wasn't my kid that shit happened to. We got to take all that shit personally. That's why we weak now, because we separated in so many different groups and they keep us like that. And to what you just said, I mean, as far as Donald Trump, what they're going to do the same shit they did with George Bush. They're going to follow me Follow him until he gone, and then call him an idiot when he gone, when he leaves. So right now, they're gonna be on this team. That's what white supremacy is. You know what I'm saying? But I think we still fail to look at the head of the snake. See, this is where I be going every time I come in, because I think y'all more into the grassroots shit, where I'm looking at the top of this shit, where our money going. I'm looking at Israel. I'm looking at the key to why all this shit is happening. You see what I'm saying? Right now, I'm saying they want a war here. Bibi Netanyahu wants a war here. Israel has control of our government. You get what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got handlers, just like the movie stars and all the athletes they gave handlers to the congressmen. This is how they've been doing it. These motherfuckers have been slick. Matter of fact, they've been changing their names, so you don't even know these motherfuckers.
I don't know why you would say. I don't know why you would say we only look at the grassroots part of it when we talk about the whole structure, because once again, our show was one of the first ones 2 years ago. We were talking about Project 2025. We talk about the percentages.
That's Stephen Miller, man. That's Stephen Miller.
Well, I know, but you said we just look at the grassroots organization or part of it. We look at the whole thing.
Well, most of the time, I'm gonna say it like this. Most of the time, when I call in and I start talking about that, I think you'll shut it down and you'll be like, "Look, this is what's going on right here," and blah blah blah. And I don't know if you feel like I don't know if we're just on the same page. So I mean, you know what, man? We ain't never sat down and just kind of chopped it up to see where each other's thoughts.
Your sentiment, because your sentiment that you express is actually more grassroots than anything I've ever said. Because you talk about let's get at them. That from what you say, is let's lock up, let's arm ourselves, let's fight, let's be reactive, let's be really revolutionary. That's your perspective. A lot of times, my perspective is no. Let's work within the law or whatever laws there are and what structure there is. That's not grassroots. That's more knowing what's going on at the top. So it ain't about me, react. What you say, the energy you give off is more revolutionary.
Yeah. Defending yourself, that is the law. That is law.
I agree. I said defending ourselves. I said, so if you listen at what I said, when I read your comment, you said, give them the same energy. I said, how should we go out? Because the energy they give us is they attack us proactively. They come at us.
Well,
so hold on. Let me explain why I said what I said. I said, so what does that mean? And then I went on to say, I think we should be proactive, meaning we should be ready to defend ourselves. We should have mechanisms in place so that when this happens, we'll be prepared for it. That was what I said immediately following that.
Okay, so I guess I misunderstood. But if anything, number one, we got to be a lot more tactical if we're going to do some shit like that. Because at the end of the day, this is what they want. A lot of it, truthfully, this ain't even our fight like that, because these motherfuckers fighting within each other. We just caught in the middle. I think I just said that on the A. They don't know where the fuck we headed because we ain't saying shit. We ain't fighting for nobody right now. We for black people. And that scares them. And so everybody's trying to pull our string to get us to get out there. And we like, nope, I ain't fucking with it. If it's not black, it ain't me. It's finally to the point where, you know what, we get to focus on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not worried about no motherfucker right now, but my people. That's it. Because I'm tired of us going out there trying to help everybody and we get shit on by everybody else. So that's just what it is. So at the end of the day, I mean, don't hate me for loving my folk. We can be who we want to be. We weren't even allowed to label ourselves. You got Africans saying we supposed to be African, other people saying we supposed to do this. And we finally said, hey, this is what we is. We have to have a label because we got everybody coming in taking a piece of us, if you know what I mean.
I don't see, I'm a delineator, so I don't agree with any. I've always talked about the 3 S's. Number 1 is sovereignty. Number 2 is separatism. And number 3 is solidarity. We ain't ready for the first 2. The only one that we can really hope to do right now is solidarity. I've been saying that for 9 years. So it's always been the whole mantra of the Black Power movement was to bring in an era where we loved ourselves and we focused on ourselves and stopped trying to be friends with everybody and worked on ourselves. Correct. And worked with ourselves and within ourselves. That's what this whole movement is about. And like you said, everybody else has the right to call themselves whatever they want to be. and there's no problem. And people that made up LGBTQ LMNOP, and I'm non-binary, and I'm anti bona fide, double sex, whatever, metro, hetero, all these different kinds of labels. They can be that. But if I say, no, I'm a foundational Black American, now we got a problem. How does shit start with us?
Yeah.
So that lets you know that lets you know that they don't want that. That lets you know that they don't want us even thinking like that. So they're gonna try to come out and get those of us who will play ball and say, "Hey, go out there and say something foul about that." You don't want to be that.
But
that's why Fat Joe was like,
right?
That's why Fat Joe said all them broke ass niggas, and he's not even Black.
You know why that is, right? They don't want us to do that, right? Because they won't be allowed to come in. Because every time we do something, we end up getting robbed by either the LGBT community, or we gonna get robbed by the Latinos, and it's just like we did. So no, they don't want us to. They don't want us to delineate, and it's hurting them. So right now, it's really kicking them in the ass because they thought they thought they could play white, and basically he showed them. But our real problem, like I said, we got Stephen Miller. It's a couple of other motherfuckers up in there because, believe it or not, Trump ain't that smart. Trump ain't that smart enough to do all this shit on his own. So this whole shit been laid out by Stephen Miller. There's another motherfucker. I can't remember his name. But they want this shit under duress. Now what's really going to happen? I think going to happen. Huh?
His name was Russell Vought.
Yeah, him. That motherfucker right there. That motherfucker, I couldn't remember. Appreciate it. But I think what's going to happen is, truthfully, I think the shit going to implode at some point. Because you got people that are really trying to fight for the country. They want to put the country first. Now, I think we finally got it in our head that we said, hey, look, fuck all this shit. We Black Americans. We can't help y'all no more. We got to help ourselves. But we got to stand ground on our country. But the problem is, like I said, we got everybody trying to pull us. And we're not doing it. And they're frustrated.
You know what? The main thing here is, I think we have to recognize what's our business and what ain't our business. Okay.
Right.
And so even with this whole Kirk thing, one thing that I noticed, and we, once again, our show, we say this, and a lot of times it's one of those things that we do agree on. That shit didn't have nothing to do with us. And a lot of us didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was. Even though he was so anti-Black, it made no sense. A lot of us, we just weren't concerned with his sentiment. So when they said Charlie Kirk got assassinated, we said, who was that? Right? So when he was killed, it wasn't us we wasn't even putting energy into. Somebody do something to him. So
they needed a boogeyman.
So that's what made it so stupid when they tried to come out and say, we're going to go attack some Black colleges. Like, what? It didn't have shit to do with them. So but there's a lot of policy, there's a lot of news, a lot of things that go on, especially in terms of the political party, since it's so partisan, the government is so partisan right now. A lot of that shit don't got nothing to do with us either. That's why we shouldn't be voting. Black people shouldn't be voting based on a political party. They should be voting based on what their best interests are. Now, 2 million Black people voted for Trump. So there's 2 million Black people who felt like Trump and the Republicans had their best interests at heart. That might be an issue. That might be an issue.
That is. They needed a boogeyman, like I said. But you're right. I mean, the problem is we voting Democrat or Republican. Truthfully speaking, they voting for white supremacy, bro. That's just what it is. And we have to realize what it is.
Basically, right. They support each. See, one thing you can't say about white people, they have solidarity. That's what this whole thing, this white nationalism shows you. They have solidarity. You know what I'm saying? And
white supremacy is their solidarity.
Well, think about it like this, Dion. All those 3 S's that I said, they got them all. They have the ability to separate, so they can do separatism, right? They live in areas all the time where there ain't a person of color in miles. They have sovereignty because they have their own land. America's theirs. And they have solidarity because they're all together. So they got all the 3 S's. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, white supremacy is boom. It's because I always look at white supremacy like it's a myth anyways, because let's be honest, who are you really superior to as a white person?
Nobody.
Right. So it's a
Nobody.
phantom. It's a phantom concept. There's a lot of people who are united behind it, but there's no real logic to white people being superior to anybody. Like, there's
But
nothing.
it's just
Yeah, but it's not.
It's just like money. We give it the value. It's just like money. We gave it the value. You know what I'm saying? But people that came before us, they gave it the value. Now, I mean, I want to say our generation is kind of like, fuck them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And they still trying to live in the past where we was afraid of them. No, man, we ain't never been slaves. We went through some other shit. We angry.
But
that's what I say.
I mean,
why are you so angry, man? You get held back 400 years.
Well, I think their solidarity gave it power. I think their solidarity gave it power. I don't think we gave it power. I think the fact that they were all united behind this, and it was kind of like a universal law. If we talk about Jim Crowism, a lot of shit was allowed to happen to us because that's just the way it was, as they would put it. It wasn't us giving them that. We had to accept it. We had to say, shit, that's the way it is. But it was their solidarity that gave it more credence than anything else. But I definitely believe it, just to the core of it, bro. Like, I'm just saying, period, as a human being, right? Like, just genetically. However, what about white people is superior to anyone? There's not.
That's MK Ultra, bro. That's the MK Ultra. That's the TV, everything. If you see it, like I said, if you hear something long enough, you start to believe that shit.
Well, I grew up watching the same TV, and I've never believed that. I grew up watching the same
cartoons and everything.
Kevin, Kev, you're a mentally strong brother, man. Not everybody like you. You know what I'm saying? You headstrong in the motherfucker. Come on, we see it every week, couple times a week.
No. This ain't about me trying to pump myself up. What I'm saying is, I know I grew up in a neighborhood full of black kids. We all watched television. None of us felt like, man, white people is better than us. Well, you know what, Ace? On a subconscious level, now I'm kind of seeing what you're saying. On a subconscious level, if you add the indoctrination of what public school used to be, maybe there was some of us who dealt with an inferiority complex. Let me acknowledge what you're saying.
Also, man, you gotta remember what we did, man. We couldn't do shit in school. These little white kids do whatever they talk, they do whatever, they get in a little fight. Let us do that shit. We get suspended. We get in the 72 car. Me and you sat up in in-school suspension a couple times together.
I was in there all the time. They kicked me out the program. They kicked me out the program for the academically talented twice. I was in the PAC class. They kicked me out 7th and 8th grade year. Like, get your ass. I was in trouble every day. That shit was fun. Let me get the chat room. Hold on, y'all. Then I got to see if I'm gonna try to merge the next call because I see Orlando's trying to call in. But if I can't, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset the phone to see if I can bring in more than 2 people. So Dion, if I drop you, Ace, if I drop you, feel free to call back. It might take a second for the phone to reset, but let me go to chat room. This is Brenda Peterson. She said the bill went through, but it can be changed. I don't completely understand it. But the big thing is healthcare, especially Medicaid. But Trump also wants Obamacare destroyed. See, once again, thank you for that statement, because nobody really understands the intricacies of this shutdown. People can say, well, because it's all kind of confusing, because there's Democrats who say the bill clearly states that you must be an American citizen to receive these benefits. So nobody over here is saying you need to give immigrants health care. We gonna shut the government down. That's what they were saying at first. The Democrats won't acquiesce because they want the immigrants to have health care. And I don't think people were talking about them having long-term Obamacare. I thought it was more along the lines of, if you're here illegally and you go to a hospital and you're in dire straits, you deserve the right as a human to receive medical care. But however, you are reported and you will be deported. I thought that's what it should be. I didn't, you come to a hospital with a broke leg, they're like, your ass ain't here, you Mexican. You ain't from here, you Mexican, get your ass out of here. And you just out there in the parking lot like,
well, that's part of our law, our judicial, our law structure. I get that. But when you come over here flying Mexican flags and all kinds of other flags, and you on American soil, you know, motherfuckers got to look at you sideways at that point, you know, because I'm like, what you really here for? You know, are you here to, I mean, I understand you want to come from the monetary gain, but how we know you ain't here on some terrorism type shit? How we know you, what's the name of the little gang that was out in fucking, Chicago?
You talk, what do they call the most vicious one?
Wagwa, whatever the fuck they are.
Now, what is the most vicious one? It's like M something. What is it?
MS-13.
Yeah, the Salvadorians.
I don't know. It's
the Salvadorians.
Right now, Trinidad Wagwa is kind of giving them a run for their money, but they clicking up. The Latinos are clicking up. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's the way I look.
They've always had solidarity. So once again, they don't have sovereignty because this is a foreign land for them. They can't separate because they're trying to get in. All they have is their solidarity. See, they got one S. They got one S. We'll start judging people on how many S's they actually got. They got one S.
You know what? Like I said, you know what? It's the motherfuckers start busting it because you come up here, you gonna see all these little Mexican flags running around here, like, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
You know what, Ace? You know? Not so much, not like it used to be. You know what? You just made a great point. I did used to see, like, especially if you go on the South Side or wherever, you see these Mexicans, the Latinos, and they'd have that flag in the back of their truck and they'd be flying. I don't know with ICE on the prowl. I don't know if they flying that flag like that no more, Ace. I don't see as many.
They flying it up here. I can tell you like that. They flying
they flying it in Chicago like a motherfucker too.
I think I seen
one.
I think I seen one around the corner.
They don't like niggas.
I think I seen one around the corner, but I can tell you what, they legal. I guarantee you they're legal. Because you ain't finna be, listen. And I tell y'all this, very interesting. I live across the street from some monks, and they have, I told y'all, when they have a gathering, they have a gathering. They had one Saturday. I'm not bullshitting when I say there had to be at least 150 plus of them. I didn't hear not one gunshot. I didn't hear not one gunshot. I didn't hear no loud Vietnamese music. They was drinking their beer. I seen plenty Coors boxes, and I should have took pictures, man. I don't be thinking because I'm not really a posted on social media kind of guy. I'm gonna have to start doing that when I see something like this. I mean, it was ridiculous, but there was no issue. That's why in our neighborhood, we don't trip. They do it like 2-3 times a year. We don't trip. They don't really
give us no problems. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got some Hmong friends. They don't give up no problem. I mean, we have issues with the Hispanics. Sometimes we have issues with the little Koreans and the Chinese.
We always got issues with us, though. We always got issues with us.
Yeah, they do.
Because you know what? Look, this was so severe. This was so major. They had the porta potties sitting out on the grass. Porta potties. That's how many people was there. Now you know. Yeah, so you know, Dion, if it was us, I said us, not y'all. If it was us, music would have been loud. Crowd would have been loud. Somebody would, man, let's walk off and smoke this blunt. You know, you got a little pocket over here. They passing the Hennessy. People have been rolling up motorcycles, everything. I didn't hear them come and I didn't hear them leave. That is the power of solidarity, where you could take your people and say, hey, y'all, everybody be cool. We're going to celebrate. We're going to have a good time. We're going to fellowship. Then we're going to move around. That's what solidarity will do. When we get together, that motherfucker can't tell me what to do, man. Shit, we out here kicking it, nigga. Somebody, hey, man, let's go around here and shoot these dice. I mean, don't get me wrong. Black parties are fun. But before you know it, somebody got knocked out. Here come the police. Or if we ain't acting a fool, guess what's going to happen? Police going to be coming through. I didn't see Wauwatosa PD nor MPD come through here. They ain't even drive by. Now, these supposed to be immigrants, right? How many illegals were out there? Let me go to the chat room.
The Hmong ain't immigrants, though. You know, they got asylum.
Well, they still immigrants if they come from overseas. If they come from, what did they tell me they were from when I was working at that school?
They still got the little Asian, what they call the Asian bill, you know, protection bill.
That's you can't. That's the Hmong when you can't jump on them, like you can't beat them up, like you can't race riot on them. They're still immigrants, though.
During the Vietnam War, the Hmong and the Laotians, I believe, helped the United States against the Vietnamese. That's just like even with the Afghanis, some of them and the Afghanis and the Iraqis, some of them got asylum for helping during the war. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I'm
even if
saying?
you
So
have asylum, you're
now,
still an immigrant. You're still an immigrant, though. Even if you got asylum. You know, what do they
mm.
call them when they take them on? What do they call them? Refugees.
Well, the first generation probably immigrants.
They're all
Cause
immigrants. If
then
they
now the
from
first
over there,
generation.
they might have been given asylum, Dion. It doesn't change the fact that they're immigrants.
But I'm saying if they've been over here 20 plus years, they ain't had kids. They probably got grandkids. So they kids and their grandkids ain't immigrants. They was born over here in America. Their parents
Yeah,
was
but
immigrants.
that's why Trump went after birthright citizenship, because that's what used to help
Mm-hmm.
Latinos stay here. I'm gonna go. And how many episodes of a sitcom you seen where Julio was about to get deported and he went and married an American woman and he could stay? That used to be the deal. If your kids was born here, there, that's what birthright citizenship was. And a lot of black people said, "Oh, well, Trump is telling the truth because he said that was made for the sons of slaves. That wasn't made for no illegal Mexicans." And black people say, "He right. That was for us. We just felt good to be acknowledged. That was made for us." Why do we have to have that made? Like, that's how severe it was that they still wouldn't even consider us Americans. Like, motherfucker, I'm 2 generations deep. What are you talking about? Like, this shit is too easy, man. Look, this is Ian Jordan, man. He says training right now. He's training. He said he's gonna call in Wednesday. Okay, do your thing, do your thing. Earl Henning in the chat room. He said, fuck Donald Trump and his friends. Brendan Peterson said, heck, Seth. Mama Jenkins said, she said, I've always thought that there's people with money leading this country and that the billionaires calling the shots. Trump is a puppy and he's doing just what they want. She said there's very little people. She said, hold on, let me read the comment. She said there's very little people power at this time. It's too many fuck ups people that's in leadership. Look at Milwaukee and all these nothing ass and all these nothing ass assholes in office. She said it's her opinion again. Let's see. Orlando Owen said 2 million. Good. Let's run it up. What we talking about, Orlando? What you talking about? 2 million. What do we refer to as 2 million? And he said, good. Let's run. I said because it's 2 million black people who voted. Yeah, man. Good for y'all, Orlando. Let's run it up. He said, yeah, okay. Brenda Peterson said too early for Orlando. She said I snatched the whole. I ain't gonna even lie. She said I snatched the whole roofing crew in St. Paul. Yeah, my daughter's always telling me about what she sees over there in Minneapolis. Mama Jenkins said I got some that just moved in my hood, and believe me, they know how to gather. Last week they had at least 60 people, and they peas not illegal park or hanging on the sidewalk. Walking with barbecue grills at loud. Somebody got to turn your device down. I'm getting an echo.
I'm turning it down now, man.
She said with barbecue grills or loud music. Yeah, I'm not. And listen, for it to be so many of them, they were quiet. Like, I'm like, listen, if you get 15 black people together, you're gonna hear that shit on the next block. Like I said, I'm driving and there's cars, they're just parked just everywhere. And thankfully, everybody in my neighborhood has a driveway. So most of the time you're not parked on the street. So I'm just like, damn, look at all these. And got my window down because I want to hear the music or something. Nothing. And they talking, kids playing. I'm like, are they super quiet? It's the weirdest phenomenon, man. My brother is the funniest dude on the planet. And if my brother's here and in the summer, like last summer, my brother was here with me and they were having these gatherings and my brother would be like, listen. And I'd be like, what? He'd be like, since they start cooking this morning, you don't hear no cats. You don't hear no dogs barking.
That's
But you know what? I agree with him, though.
He'd be like, dude, I've been sitting in this yard for 2 weeks. I ain't seen not one cat.
Because yesterday I was mowing the grass and the motherfuckers had a chicken next door. And I don't see the chicken. I've seen them kill chickens before, but I think they shouldn't do that. Just do it in the basement or something. Don't do that shit out there. You know, I'm an animal lover. I call them people on your ass. Don't be fucking killing no chickens like that. You know what I'm saying?
But you
Do
eat
that shit
chicken.
in your basement.
Don't you eat chicken?
What?
You know it's dead when you eat it, right?
I do, but that don't mean that I'm gonna kill one and eat it.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
like the sight of blood.
Well, no, they raising the chicken.
No,
Why you
it's just
think
an
they
animal.
raising the chicken? That's what the chicken for. That's what you're raising the chicken
No,
for.
they want
Shit.
to bulk this chicken though.
That's right. They raise chickens. They raise Dion. They get the eggs.
Huh?
They get the eggs and they get the meat. So
I'm
yeah.
still a little bit upset about dude, man. I swear. I want to try to hear the show out all the way, Kel, but I can't deal with that right there. When that guy called, talking about 2 million, let's run it up, and he see the bullshit that the Republicans doing. He a motherfucking lie, because the last time we was talking about Project 2025, he don't know nothing about it. That's just something that the Democrats is trying to kick up,
Fear
a scare tactic.
Fear monger.
Like you just don't want to. Yeah, you just don't want to hear the bullshit. Like, keep that bullshit over there. Don't talk about politics. Like, it'll be my rule if it was me, my show. Don't call here and talk about politics, nigga, because this is like, we all heterosexuals and you are homosexual. Homosexuals and heterosexuals sexually ain't got nothing. We ain't talking about all that bullshit. Talk about sports, talk about a car show, talk about anything. But as far as that, that's just like, I was talking about you today. I was telling my guy, like, my nigga finally see the way I see. He was like, if a motherfucker said Charlie Kirk or racist, he don't want to be your friend. He don't want to talk to you, nothing like that. So that's just how I feel. We sitting up here watching this shit on TV every day. We seeing them going into majority black cities. We seeing them doing all type of bullshit to us, all type of fuck shit. And that's just like earlier, Kev, when you was talking. You know what I'm saying? See, this is the thing, though, and I don't know why they hit nobody yet. Everything that's happening is unconventional. Motherfuckers going against the federal judges that he placed on the bench. He's going against their orders. He ain't saying fuck a lot of federal judges' orders. We see the Supreme Court on his side. So we actually sit back here thinking that in 2026, we're going to have a fair election where we're going to go in there and every ballot is going to be counted. Nah, even right now, you know what I'm saying? As I keep saying, the margin of his victory was so small that his people still saying there's discrepancies, and it was cheating and manipulation. And it was cheating and manipulation. Yeah, it ain't going to be no election. So you know what I'm saying? The man is saying, the man setting all this bullshit up for when it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
and it's fucked up, man.
Let me say this. If the American people allow for it not to be an election, then they get what they deserve. Just like I said, if they chose to vote for him and vote him in office, and I was talking to one of my OGs in the barbershop and I've learned a very long time ago not to get in barbershop debates. That's something you won't see me do, because I have people like I'm telling you, like back in the days, I'll never forget, I was being very critical of Obama, and I was in there with some older brothers, and I think some of them probably had a stroke afterwards. They was so pissed, man. I think a lot of them, and especially before I hurt my back, so I think a lot of them, if they felt like they could have gave me a go, they would have, but they knew, I ain't fucking that motherfucker look like he'll knock something out. But they were pissed. I mean, yo, like they was, oh man, I can't believe it. I was like, dude, calm down, man. What? Like, so I don't get.
What was you saying?
I was just talking about the fact that there was no black agenda, and that there would be no long-term benefits for us under his presidency.
Symbolism.
Right, and that's another thing that I said, is that he makes us feel good. He looks good in the White House, but there's really no policy to advance our causes. And one of them said, well, he just came to Master Lock and talked to the people at Master Lock. And then I killed him because I said, and 6 months later, Master Lock closed down and sent all they workers to Mexico. He really got pissed. Speaking of Obama, this is a sidebar. Hold on, let me take this sidebar. First of all, okay, I'm gonna pause the chat room. Has anybody seen Michelle Obama's podcast?
I've seen some of it, man. It's hard. I mean, it's kind of booty to me. I ain't gonna even lie to you, man.
I'm uncomfortable with her brother. Is that her brother?
Oh, he looks like a little alien or something.
He's not gay.
He is a very awkward looking dude, man. And
I think he got alopecia or something.
Anybody skin tone, is his manners and how he looks. I'm just like, yo, I don't want to be around, cuz like I'm wrong. I'm judgmental. And sometimes I don't think the camera angles are good for her. But sometimes they showing her and I'm like, yo, like when she was in the office, didn't she used to look good sometimes? Like, I'm being judged. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Like Cat Williams said, we had that nigga booty.
I mean, I just now just sitting there when she's talking, and I'm just like, yo, I don't know if. Never mind. Let's move on.
I watched it, man. It was just honestly the conversation. It's not for the average.
It's very vanilla.
I still feel like the conversation is not. Yeah, it's not for the average black person. It's not really giving us any answers to anything. They still talking about rich people shit.
Yeah, it's mostly it's mostly a black boule platform. And one thing I don't like is black elitism. And so there's no real hard. Now Barack will try and say something now because he'll try to speak in a fashion. And I'm not gonna say he panders because he do got some brother in him. He's a tether, but he does have some brother in him. Sometimes I see him try to speak and he's kind of like, yo, like he tries to come off like, yeah, let me keep it real. And so her brother just makes me uncomfortable. Orlando, you calling in and say what?
Oh man, you know what's going on, fam?
Ain't nothing to it. I know you about to say some crazy shit. What's on your mind?
That's how I'm greeted. Like,
absolutely.
I'm joining the conversation.
Absolutely, yeah. But I know you got some crazy shit to say. So what is it?
I'm just saying. I just called to join the conversation to have a different perspective. My goodness, my friend. I still love you, brother. So, wow.
You know, we don't know about that. We'll see, depending on what you say next.
Okay. Well, that shouldn't depend on my love for you, but
I don't know.
So the healthcare battle.
You cool with Officer Tatum?
Yeah, I like Tatum. I do.
Yeah,
I like Tatum. Well, I mean, I'm a conservative, so I won't say I like everything that anybody says, but I like a lot of his viewpoints.
He's a liar and a grifter. I'm a conservative too, but I ain't got to do that. I ain't got to do the shit that he do. He'll lie straight to your face.
Again, I can disagree with any conservative or any person that if I say, yeah, I don't think that point's valid. So that's free thinking people. So you say, well, I don't like Officer Tatum, and you say, well, but I'm a conservative. So all conservatives supposed to rock with Officer Tatum, or they should disagree with him? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing: if you any kind of man with any integrity, then you wouldn't fuck with him. I don't fuck with people that lie. I don't fuck with people that lie.
So again, I don't know. You first you're coming out to shoot kind of hot. I ain't
hot. I'm just saying. I just asked you a question, man. I'm just saying.
So I like Officer Tatum.
Orlando, that sounded very condescending. You're coming out to shoot hot. That's like saying, first of all, lower your motherfucking voice. That's what that's like saying. That's what that sounded like.
I'm just saying it's real. It's real hot. You like Officer Tatum? Like, hold on, bro. Let's ease into the conversation. What point?
No, I'm just trying to assess what kind of dude he is. I mean, I've heard him, but I'm just trying to assess who he is.
Orlando's crazy.
So I'm like, I'm like, okay, so there are issues that I like Officer Tatum's position on. There's some that I disagree with. I'm a free thinking black man. I'm a free black man. That means from liberals, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives as well. So if there's a point you want to ask about a policy position, let's get to it. Don't say, I don't like the
All right, what do you think about Israel? What do you think about Israel?
I think it's clear where we are as our policy, diplomacy, that we need to. Israel is one of our biggest allies. I don't necessarily agree with every move that.
You think they're an ally or a bully?
I think they're allies, but I will say this. I do think they do believe they take certain liberties because they do know that we do support them. I think that there are certain liberties that they do have that they should not just fully, and I'm with Trump on these things. Like, hold on. We're giving y'all support, but some y'all go too far sometimes.
Orlando.
And that's
they've gone too far a long time ago.
Orlando.
They did that a long time ago.
I got a question. Are you cool with what ICE does, taking a Black Hawk helicopter, landing on top of a building, going door to door?
Yes, absolutely.
Wait, let me finish. All those people in that building were not immigrants.
So
they had little children, regardless of if they're immigrants or not. handcuffed in plastic handcuffs for hours in the streets. So you think that's cool?
So for you to take offense to the fact that when the law come knocking, everybody got to sit down until we figure out what's going on. If you want to, put kids in the corner, put them in the room, zip tie, whatever you want to say, everybody got to sit down when the law comes through the door. Because I'm in the room now. I don't know what's what. I don't know what you're going to train your kids to do. Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down until I get a grasp of what's going on. Everybody sit down.
I know you're trying to sound serious, but that sounds very stupid. Listen, there's no reason. There's no reason for you to even if you come raid my house right now, right? And say I am guilty. Of course I wouldn't be. But if you came to my house and I had little children here and I looked up and seen you had them handcuffed, as opposed to just gathering them up, putting them in a certain place and having somebody watch over them. Let me finish. Let me finish. I wouldn't give a fuck if it was the law or anybody else. I would say, man, that's out of order, man. Y'all ain't got to handcuff them kids. These 3-year-olds ain't got nothing to do with this shit. Like, it's very, very callous of you to just say, well,
do we have that actual footage of that happening?
Yes, there's footage. Yes, there's footage.
Okay. Well, put the footage up with kids.
You go find it. I ain't got to put, every time you try to turn a blind eye to something, I ain't got to go find the shit. Here you go, Orlando.
Well,
man, stop turning a blind eye to shit, man. Whatever. I'm moving on.
You know what the fuck went on. Yeah. It's just like they killed them kids over there in Iraq, and they're killing kids and Gaza and shit. It ain't no different, man. The only difference is the only difference, Kev, that I would say, just envision that this is not America. It's a foreign land, and now they're trying to occupy. Chicago is no different than what they would do in Iraq, Somalia, Uganda. Anytime they send a foreign invasion up in there. You understand what I'm saying? Because really, to keep it real with you, them white folks, like Karen Hunter was saying one day, them white folks don't give a fuck about. How you give a fuck about crime when you live in Eden, Wisconsin, or Bolingbrook, Illinois, where ain't no motherfucking blacks out there? Why you care so much about crime that's going on in the inner city?
So crime everywhere is crime everywhere. So Thurgood Marshall,
they put cocaine in the city.
So Thurgood Marshall said, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere.
So that means the injustice that was done to the kids in Chicago was just that you just said for you to be offended. You're going to quote somebody who say injustice anywhere. Stop it. Listen, let me go to the chat room. Stop it, man. Because sometimes you try to come off intelligently, but you really just play yourself. Listen, Brenda says, Kev, now you know you wouldn't. She said, now you wouldn't. You know you wouldn't kill a chicken in your basement. Actually, Brenda, Miss Peterson, I always tell the story of coming home, and this is how I know what the whole business with this is. Coming home from school, going into the garage, my brother and myself, 7, 8, 9, 10 chickens. Me and my brother at that time, my brother's a dog guy, always has been. I'm talking about a brother who would cry at the end of Old Yeller, like a baby, right? Like he couldn't stand to see a dog get harmed. The Doberman gang, like my brother's gonna cry if a dog died. So we was into the animals. All these chickens are in the garage. I'm thinking, this is the shit. We got our own chickens. Like we them dudes. I done grabbed me a chicken. I done named the chicken, right? I'm feeding the chickens. I done went in the house and got some breadcrumbs. And all of a sudden, like Jason, my mother kicked the door open with her hand behind her. I'm like, what's up, Ma? Like, yo, we see you got the chickens. This is George, and that's Tim, and that's Bob. And my mother's like, oh, yeah? Okay. That's his name. Let me see Tom. And I give her my chicken, and she wrings his neck until his head comes off. And not only does she do that, she proceeds to kill every last chicken in the garage.
She was hungry.
I'm standing there. We wasn't hungry. We lived in Milwaukee. We were straight. But she comes from the country. She came from Mississippi, right? And so this is what you do, right? So, like, I'm sitting here. I'm like, no. Like, I'm traumatized by this shit to this day. I'm like, no, Mama, not George. She's like, George ass is dead. Like, so she's killing all the chickens. She took the chickens. She gutted them. She plucked the feathers off of them, cut them up, and we ate chicken for like 7, 8 months off that shit. And it tasted very differently than the chicken in the store. Now, I go to Mississippi, staying with my grandmother in the summer. got a yard full of chickens, more than 20, 30 chickens. They just free roaming chickens, just all over the place. And my grandmother's like, y'all want some fried chicken for dinner? Yo, yes, grandma, we love it when you fry chicken. Well, I ain't got one in the freezer, but take that chicken trap, set it up. You take some corn, you put it down, lead it into the trap. Boom, chicken in the trap. Grandma go out there, grab chicken, cut his head off. I wasn't traumatized at that point. I knew the business. I was like, oh, okay, dinner. So I'm just saying when Dion was saying don't kill the chickens in the backyard, for some people, that's a way of life. Mama Jenkins said, Orlando, call your friends in Washington and tell them to get their head out Trump's ass and pass the fucking healthcare bill. E Walk is in the chat room. What up, E? He says Orlando keeps saying we. He actually thinks he is a part of something. His lost ass ain't never gonna understand he ain't shit.
Man, E-Walk be just going hard on
right. E-Walk just in the paint, man, all day. Earl says Orlando is a great ass kisser. Ian Jordan says no one on that side of the aisle free thinking. Trump involved in culture wars. He's also disingenuous. Orlando has no character. He could not even be man enough to apologize to my daughter. He is a grifter and doesn't care because it isn't his family. He talks tough, but when confronted, he went to the police on Ashanti Hamilton instead of I think he meant fighting. I didn't know you went to the police on Ashanti Hamilton.
You went to the police on the man, Orlando?
Hold on. Let me read this last comment. Brenda says, not the garage. We had a chicken coop where my grandma and grandpa traumatized us, chopped their heads off and let them run around. They ran all over the garage. Once again, is when I first learned that a chicken body runs around when his head or her head is cut off or whatever it was. I said, no, mama, no. My mother was smoking that Marlboro with that hatchet in her hand going to work. It's an indelible image. It's printed in my brain. Like I said, just the way she came through the door. Because me and my brother was in there just enjoying the chickens. We was kicking it. I think he might have been holding two. And boom, the door opens. Mom's got her butcher clothes on. I didn't even know why she was dressed like that. It's crazy. Okay. So that's caught up on the chat room. So Ace, you had a question or what?
Yeah, you said he called the police on.
Okay, that's what it was. That's what Ian is saying. So Orlando, are you still with us or did you hang up?
No, I'm here, my friend. I'm here.
So did you? What happened with you and what happened to you and Ashanti? You call the popo on Ashanti?
Well, actually, we got into an altercation. That's why Ian always going to be where he is, always with his slick talk. He always trying to, for whatever reason, I live in this dude's head. So, go be with the snow bunny after you leave his Hispanic woman. Go be happy out there where you are. Again, want to apologize to your daughter. You brought your daughter to the platform. That's what you did. So again, if you want to be truthful about what happened, it was people that called the police. Police charged both of us because it was altercation on the block. We all got charged. So again, that's a sweet back dude. Always want to have something to say. He's too zesty. That's what he wants. He's too thirsty. So again, go do what you go do, man. Go work out with your family. Go do what you gonna do. Stay in Arizona. Be cool with the snow bunny.
All righty then. Okay.
But again, Kev, I'm trying to find the footage of kids being zip tied.
I'm over it. I don't want to talk about that with you no more.
I'm just saying. I'm seeing nothing.
Looking.
I'm seeing actually big
keep
things
looking.
being debunked.
Keep
I don't
looking.
see any photos.
Keep looking. Keep looking for the rest of the show.
I don't see this happen.
Keep looking. You ain't had enough
I'm
time to
trolling.
search the whole damn internet. Listen, y'all know who I'm falling in love with? I can't lie. Dion, you got me on this bullshit. I am really, really digging Jasmine Crockett. I am feeling Jasmine Crockett. I am. You know why? You know why I'm feeling. You know why I'm feeling Jasmine Crockett. I seen Jasmine Crockett put Patel in his motherfucking place. I said, "Damn!" And then look, please. He was trying to respond, and she said it so classy. I didn't ask you a question. She just kept going, but she hit him. She hit him so hard, like, you are the worst FBI director in the history of the agency. You ain't never even
All
been
the people a piece of shit.
Oh, but you just gotta hear it.
Yeah,
She was so articulate. I don't know what her wardrobe was about. I don't know if that was like a mix between Easter Sunday and
I'm gonna be honest.
Terrible. She's terrible as a congresswoman.
I'm gonna be honest. They didn't give him a chance to respond either.
She shut him down. He tried. He tried. She shut him down.
It's when you take the mic. You take the mic from someone.
She didn't even have to raise up. She didn't even have to raise up.
Bro, she's terrible.
I said, well, hold on, Orlando. First of all, I said I love her. I didn't ask you what you thought about her. I was talking about me.
I
know, but you got to let me. But I didn't ask you yet. I didn't even finish what I was saying. You
think
jumped
Marjorie
in.
Taylor Greene is one to put on something. You like Marjorie Taylor Greene. You probably agree with Laura Loomer. Did you see the Laura Loomer? I sent you a screenshot of her, Kevin. That bitch looks horrible.
I seen her.
I thought Kay was talking right now. Yeah.
I seen her. My point was, in all this is, I'm Johnny come lately because I don't watch the talking heads most of the time, especially when it's partisan politics. And so I pay a little attention when it matters. But unless they're really talking about some policy or some legislation, I ain't really interested in a back and forth. But I just thought the way and then I started to watch other clips of her. And I said, man, this sister's really giving it. She giving it to these people straight lace. I like the way she gets down. Slumdog 20 on the YouTube, Slumdog $20. He says, online violence. Mama Jenkins said, that's my girl. She's a class act. Never change her demeanor. Listen, she didn't raise up at all. She didn't cuss. She didn't.
She's terrible.
She was once again, hold on. Her demeanor is what's impressive, because I've never spoke on her before. Her demeanor is what's impressive because she refuses to fold. I love people that's gonna stand on what they say. If you coming with it, stand on it. That's why I also like Maxine Waters, because in the past she's always stood on our side when other people haven't. So, but anyways, I don't know. We know how Orlando feels. I don't know. I know Dion been telling me to check her out for a minute.
Can I get in here?
Yeah, you know I love her.
You don't know, Orlando. You just told us she's terrible. You already told us you don't like her.
And I'll tell you why. As a legislator from Texas, she's terrible for her district. She claims to be like, she's. No, it's not. So she went to the Bethel school, and she plays this victim role like it's so underprivileged for Black women and Black people. She went one of the best schools and law schools, and she's terrible as a legislator. That's what they just redid the lines in Texas. She's going to be out of this. She's terrible, bro. Maxine Waters, not. You ain't talking about James Brown with the wig.
You know what, though, Orlando? You know the difference between her and you is she actually got elected and holds office. So you could say you could criticize her, but as a legislator, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's like somebody who ain't never played a sport criticizing somebody who does. You've never even been on that level, so you punching up. You're punching up. Ewok on the chat line. What's going on, Ewok? What's going on with you, man?
Man, this nigga Orlando, man. You know what? I think Orlando, he purposely try to fuck with us. He thinks it irritates us and shit. You know what I'm saying? He thinks that I be irritated when I call in and shit. I don't. I just be trying to project my voice a little bit to be a little heard, but I don't pay no attention to that stupid nigga, man. That's one of the foolish niggas that I've ever heard speak in my life, and I'm years old. This nigga is a fool, a goddamn fool on a mission. And nobody cares about what Orlando says, man. He'll sit there
I didn't know he was that bad, bro.
Around and try to irritate people. You say some stupid shit that you know is stupid, and then try to play intelligent after you said some stupid shit.
You can't even tell the truth.
Ewok. You rarely say a salient point that makes you are a Democrat lover. You rock with them Democrats. You suck on the titty of those jokers, and you cool with that. Keep bringing them.
When have you ever heard me say that I was sucking on the Democrat titty? You never heard me say one thing about a Democrat that I love.
You work with them. You rock with them. You love them.
No, you never heard me say anything. You're lying. You're making up. You sitting here trying to project something right now. You are a fucking liar. I've never said anything good about a Democrat on Outlaw Radio.
What position do you disagree with Joe Biden on? With Tony Evers on? Let's go down the line because your man has gotten the race today. Mandela Barnes or the other day. What position you actually disagree with Democrats on?
Orlando, I never sat here and said I was a politician and I looked through fucking scouting reports and shit, motherfucker. I've never said that one time. But what I do know is that you a tap dancing Sambo that got a shine box and you a suck dick. You a suck dick to be a Republican.
Calm down.
That's what you would do.
Whoa.
That is what you would do.
Let's be respectful.
No, you will do it, nigga. That is respect. I'm telling you the truth. Somebody got to. You a sucker Republican dick.
Let's be
dancing ass nigga.
Let's be respectful.
You like this the greatest message Monday I've ever seen.
Fall back and let's be respectful and control yourself.
Well, shit, don't be putting words in my mouth. Don't lie to the people on Outlaw Radio saying that I'm a Democratic flumpy when I've never spoken highly of a Democrat not one time on this show, and you know it. I've never spoken highly of a Democrat nothing. You're lying.
Respect the platform and control yourself.
You will be respected if you quit lying. Tell the whole world you lied on me just now then. I'll shut up if you say you lied.
Control yourself.
I'll shut up if you say you lied.
You lied,
I'll shut up.
Control yourself. Control yourself and calm down.
Well, say you lied. Say you lied. Say you lied. Say you lied. Did you or did you not lie on me on Outlaw Radio?
No, I didn't.
Did you? Yes, you did. You said I'm a Democrat lover, and I.
All right, listen. Hold on. Let's stop right here. Everybody's made their point.
Motherfucker sitting here lying, telling me lies. Somebody telling me lies.
I want to go to the chat room, Ewok. Give me a second. This is let me go. Damn, am I behind? I want to make sure everybody's heard. Y'all still can call in. The number is 262-202-5131. This is, I'm trying to get all the way back up. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Brenda Peterson. She says Orlando will shrink under the table in a debate with her. Love her. Yeah, I think Jasmine Crockett. I think she'll tear your ass up, Orlando. Ian said, you see how men that don't think for themselves project. Ewok ain't a Democrat. Earl Henning in the chat room, he says Orlando, who suck ass for for Donald Trump and his team. I'm just reading the comments, y'all. Slum Dog, he said, I just tune in to hear people. Orlando, I'm trying to read the chat room. I'm trying to read the chat room.
My fault.
Slim Dog $20 says, I just tune in to hear people yell at Orlando. He says, Brewers home run. They're up 4-3. Okay. There you go. He said, Orlando tough on the phone. This is Ian. And he said, me and my guys at the fight gym laughing at this shit. So listen, I'm going to change the subject. Did y'all see this? Because weeks ago when there was, I think it's Delta State University, there was a young black man who was found hanging.
Yes, I've seen that.
He was found hanging, and the preliminary reports were that he had committed suicide. Now, I didn't rule it out. People commit suicide. Like, people, it's something that happens. And you can't just say it's just white people. You can't say it's black people. And then the discussion on the show was black men don't hang themselves. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's necessarily factual and actual. I don't know because I didn't know all the facts. Well, Colin Kaepernick, the famed NFL quarterback, Super Bowl quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, came out and said he would fund an independent autopsy. Now, the results of this autopsy came in, and it said that it raises serious questions that were some of the statements that were made on the original police autopsy. In particular, that it seemed like he had been beaten before he was hanged, saying that the marks on his neck represented that there was some strangulation, that he had injuries on his wrists, on his hands. He had broken fingers. So now the question becomes, what's next? Okay, so and
they said he had a hole in the back of his head too, man. He was stumped in the back, man. There was a lot going on with that.
I didn't see that in the USA.
Hell yeah,
I
we
didn't
knew
see
black
that in
people didn't hang themselves.
I didn't see that in the USA Today autopsy. That might be true. What they reported out, because that's
Yeah.
what I'm usually gonna check USA Today and the Journal Sentinel. Like I'm gonna triple check my references. I didn't see anything about a hole in his head, but it did say that there were some questions.
It was something either crack cranium or something like that. That's what I was just looking. I was looking at another podcaster, and he said that. Well, and you know what? He could be lying too. So let me shut
that's
up.
that's what I'm saying. With this podcast and shit and this internet shit, you really have to be careful sometimes because you'll be done fucked around and said something that ain't true, right? And that's why when I see, I don't believe nothing that I see on the internet off the first, because everybody dead, and you get on the internet and say so and so just got found dead in his apartment. I'm like, wait a minute, damn it, that shit ain't true.
Orlando gonna say he bopped himself upside the head and shit against the tree, then climbed the tree and hung his motherfucking self.
Ewok. Why don't you just focus on the subject matter? Let's put your point on, because clearly I'm in your head and you got a weak head. So just focus on the point. You don't have to bring
you ain't in my head. It's my job. It's my job to smoke out niggas like you, motherfucker. And you're not gonna
Ewok. You can't debate with me. You can't hold a candle to me. Just stay in your lane.
That's what you think. That's what your misunderstanding. That's where your misunderstanding is. Everybody that's on this show and everybody in the chat room think you a fucking idiot, except for you.
I debate any of them. And that's not a problem.
You can't do nothing to nobody on here, nigga. You the belief the earth type nigga. You ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. You a liar. You a liar, and you an ass kisser, and a tap dancer, and a Sambo. You don't get no credit for nothing for being none of those things that I just labeled you, Sambo. Don't get your shoe shine box. Get your shoe shine box. Don't tell me to sit up. Go get your shoe shine box, boy.
Listen.
Under control.
Go get the Vaseline ready for them motherfuckers.
Hold on.
That's a debate up.
Hey, Cat, there's another situation that you need to touch base on.
Hey, I'm gonna get off here, man, because I'll be the kick Orlando ass all over this telephone conversation and shit, man. With this square ass, fuck dude, old bitch made ass nigga.
Come on, whole ass nigga. Peace and love. Go ahead, Ace. Go ahead.
He's a whole ass nigga.
Go ahead, Ace.
See, you can't call another grown man a whole ass nigga without them being fighting words, Orlando. Stop that.
But hold on. But Ace, he told that man he SMD, so he SD, right? So it's all. Listen, once somebody say that to you, it's like whatever. But what was you about to say? I don't want to get that no more credence. What was you about to say?
It was another situation where because I was going on to that situation that you was. They just some lying motherfuckers. Period, man. The police. Because another situation where a young man who was in a car. He was a high schooler, had a scholarship to LSU, and he was
he was an LSU football player. He was an LSU football player.
Okay. I thought he.
Yeah. Okay. And dude, that's it, bogus.
Yeah. So that's the shit we live in right now, man.
Yeah. But a motherfucker like Orlando be like.
His name is Kyron Lacey. His name is Kyron Lacey. Hold on, Orlando. His name is Kyron Lacey, and he played for LSU, and he was an NFL draft. He was potentially an NFL draft pick, and there was a car accident that took the life of an elderly gentleman. Initially, they blamed it on him, and his stock fell, all this kind of stuff. He ended up committing suicide. He also had another criminal allegation as well for, I think it was some assault. But they said he was in the car fleeing officers from that crime or something like that, and he ended up killing himself. So he did commit suicide. But the latest news is that upon review of the tape is he wasn't even involved. Right. He wasn't even. There was a cop. Yeah. The cop who was involved lied because when they watched the footage, he wasn't even close. He was feet so far away from the accident, and this individual law enforcement officer lied and rode him until it was just everywhere. And I think his draft stock dropped and everything. I don't know what kind of issues this young brother was dealing with, but this is the malfeasance that we bear witness to when we start to examine a lot of things that happen between us as men of color and police officers in this country. And this is why the relationship.
Did he really kill himself?
Well, that's what they said. Well, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. This is why the relationship with police officers and even in our community, because I hear Adam Porcel, I hear the mayor, I hear a lot of people, police officers saying, we need y'all help. We need y'all to do this, that, and the third for us. But you got to understand, our community does not trust you. As a matter of fact, that's why the applicants, there's not a whole lot of black applicants, because we have this and historically it goes all the way back to the fact that a lot of times the sheriffs and the police officers in these small southern towns were the grand dragons and the knights of the KKK. So we have a natural, and if anything is DNA, and our DNA is to mistrust law enforcement because we've been treated so badly by them over how many years. So this is just another example when we start to say, here's this old white dude who probably was a MAGA, probably was a white supremacist, jealous of this young brother because he was about to get his issue and get his bread, intentionally framed him. There's nothing you can do to get that man back, to get him, to help him, come back to life. Now, maybe he didn't commit suicide because of that, because there was another incident in which he was involved in, and he allegedly committed suicide in the car. So we don't know, but on the surface, it tells us that this white man, this law enforcement officer lied, and he knew he was lying because there's video to show that he was lying. So this is why people in our community feel the way they feel about the police. Orlando, you said you had an opinion on this. What's your opinion on this?
So I just want to start off here. Dion, speak to the issue, bro. You don't got to inject me for your response. If you got a position, put your position out there. Now, to this situation here, I don't know enough about it. I saw some of the footage. It does sound like there's definitely something not, kind of passing the smell test. So I'm with you there. There needs to be a further investigation for the car situation. I don't know about the hanging situation. I don't know much about that. But look, if we gonna have, if I ain't, trying to see how to do your show, I know it's messy Monday. But bros, if we gonna talk, man, let's speak to the issue, bro. I mean, all that personal attack, let's do it. Let's speak to the issue. If you got a salient point that actually makes sense, man, let's make your point, bro. Get up, stop all the banter that's unnecessary. That's all I'm saying.
You addressing somebody else, not myself.
What? I'm talking about Dion.
Oh.
Dion, my better Orlando. No, Dion, let's speak your point, bro.
Boy, we already know how you think, boy. On the real, don't nobody want to hear that shit. Now you trying to speak logical and all that. You don't believe shit. Trump didn't know about Project 2025, did he?
I knew about that, and I told you that.
Yeah, you said Trump didn't know nothing about it.
And I told you.
But now he's admitting to it.
And
you know what I'm saying? So, man, look.
Agenda 47, this is Project 25. I also told you, Dion, there are certain parts of Project 25 that I actually like, Dion. So if you're going to keep it a buck, keep it $1.50. Because I know you still fat, but keep it $1.50. That's all I'm saying.
Right here, man.
Outlaw Radio on the Monday evening, man. If you're just tuning in, it is a spirited discussion about multiple things. Please share the show. So all I ask.
You know what?
Hold on. Hold on. Let me get a number out. There's a phone number attached to the show. It's 262-202-5131. Once again, 262-202-5131. Go ahead, Ace.
I haven't read all of it, but I think I heard Dion talking about some of that shit, man. I just don't see how any American, let alone black man, could be for this Project 2025. Maybe I'm not seeing something. Can you tell me what I'm missing, sir? That makes it so logical.
Are you asking me a question?
Yes.
So there are provisions about immigration that I actually like in Project 2025. I like the elimination of the educational department. I believe that department should be eliminated, that the states should have more control. So there are provisions in the document that's over 150 different proposals from a lot of conservative think tanks that came up through heritage organizations. So there's things I actually like about it. I'm not saying I agree with every position, but there's things that actually make sense. And as you as a conservative, you should have the ability to look through that thing and say, okay, I like this, I like that, or not. That's so called, my friend. That's all I'm saying.
Did any of your kids go to public school? Did any of your kids go to public school, Orlando?
So all my kids went to public school. I went to public school.
Okay. But you like the fact that they talking about ending the Department of Public Education.
So
which is going to end public school and make it all charter.
So let's be clear.
I think what he's saying, Dion, is there is a lot of miseducation with us.
You do also have duplication of federal departments. You have a state DPI. Tony Evers, who's the current governor of this state, was the former DPI superintendent of this state. They give guidance and oversight to schools in our state. So why do you need to have a federal Department of Education when you already have a local state Department of Education? That's duplication. That's more taxpayers' money that's being used for no good reason. The best government is government that is closest to the people.
But the thing about it is, though, as far as how I feel, right, with that, so we sit up here talking about the federal, but the federal fund the local, which is the state. So now we got an idiot up in there in the office that don't feel like he want to support certain states as far as giving federal funding. So eventually, all you talking about the Department of Public Instruction, which Tony Evers was the head of, I know that before he became governor, they're going to end that and make all schools either choice or charter schools, and it ain't going to be no more public schools, because if the public school, if the federal government is refusing to fund the public schools, then where the money going to come from? Because the money goes to Washington, and Washington in return gives the money back. You understand what I'm saying? So you can sit up there and say, oh, well, I agree with what's going on with Project 2025, and I agree that they should end public schools and this, that, and the other. But that just ain't going to be the end of it. You feel what I'm saying? So you just sitting up there looking at the surface of it. You ain't read in depth of it. That's why when I asked you, did you know what the ESA was? When I asked you, did you know what the ESA was? You were like, no, I never heard of that. And the ESA was an educational savings account. At some schools, I think Arizona, I'm not quite sure, but I know Iowa was one of them, and it might have been Arizona, but it's one of them other red states where they allocate money aside for students, where they say, okay, we're going to have this money allocated for you so you can go to a choice or whatever, a choice or a charter school to pay for. But that's not going to work with everybody, because everybody doesn't have those resources. And where that money going to come from? Is the federal government going to fund each and every kid out here to have an educational savings account? No, they're not. You feel what I'm saying? So you just sitting up there just talking.
Here we go, Dion. So any federal department that is eliminated, those money should stay in the state. So the money wouldn't go to the federal education department, because there would not be.
Hey, but
one.
Orlando, they still haven't announced that they're going to redirect that money, though. Because remember, you made that point a couple months ago, but there's still no legislation in place that says there will be any money that was supposed to go to the feds that states will be allowed to keep. Because we asked the question. Because when we talk about allocation, it's fine if DOGE and whoever wanted to go in and get rid of wasteful spending, but everybody kept saying, okay, so now that money is saved, where is it going? Like, how many people, federal employments, have been laid off, right? Like, so where's that money now being redirected to? They still haven't told us that.
So
and is that better education altogether?
It is clear that the money, as far as the monies that are currently being shipped to the federal department, have not, or I will give, because I don't know, but I'll give you your point to say, okay, if you're saying Orlando, the money's going to go back to the state, show me the money going back to the state. I have no problem doing the research to bring that up for you.
It's not.
No problem
it's
at all.
Not, at this point, it's not going to go back. It's not directed back.
Because we still have the department right now. Currently, we still do have the department.
Right.
So
no,
again,
I know, but I'm saying, even
money,
if this plan is to get rid of them, hear me clearly. If the plan outlined in Project 2025 was to eliminate said departments because they were wasteful, totally understand that. But why didn't it make concessions for what would happen with the money that was then saved? Because we know hundreds of federal employees have been laid off. We know departments have been slashed. But at this point, even in the big, beautiful bill, I still haven't heard anything that says, listen, we're going to give this money back to these states so these states will be even more empowered to set up their own public school system. I still haven't seen that. He's talked about everything except that, as a matter of fact. And it's not just the DPI, it's all the departments that he slashed and he cut. Where is that money now going to?
So that's what I'm looking for. How's it going to affect education?
So I think, again, Trump has spoke about the money's going back to the state. I can bring up some YouTube videos of that. That's not a problem.
He talked about it. Is it in place?
again, he spoke about it, that the money should go back to the states, for states to have better control and have the best ability to know how to educate local state children, not the federal government. So I have no problem getting to that, Kev. I can get to the video of him talking about the money.
Do me a favor, though. Do me a favor. When you send it, please, don't go get some MAGA talking head who's going to speak in slanted perspectives and is obviously biased. That's going to say something, because that's what you did last time. You sent me some right-wing bullshit, somebody who obviously was a MAGA supporter. Like I'm not above doing research, but you have to understand the science of research lies in the fact that you have to do research and not be biased when you do it, because it's not research if you're biased. Hold on. It's not research if you're biased. It's an opinion. And there's a difference between research and an opinion.
So there's two people I'm assuming that you want to hear from, the president and the secretary of education.
I could do without hearing from the president, because if he talked about it, but he didn't really do it, and I haven't heard him mention it since, it hasn't been the crown jewel of anything he said.
So there are only a few people in between. That'll be the vice president or the secretary, the chief of staff, or the Department of Secretary of Education herself.
So nobody else knows about it except for them two people.
No, I'm not. I'm saying you wouldn't take a response unless it comes from one of those four people.
It has less value. It has less value if it comes from Trump. Trump is just not a credible individual. Like, I can't believe, with all of the lies and misleading information and misnomers he's put out there, I can't believe you would even list him as a credible resource. Let me go to my chat room. Let me go to my chat room. Brenda said Ben Crump represent everybody. Ben Crump got to have frequent flyer mileage if he don't got his own jet, because something happened. Ben's there. Like, yo,
he always chasing the money, man. He gonna chase the money.
I don't know how much money is involved. He's definitely ambulance chasing, but Lord, I can't say I'm not criticizing him, because somebody needs to do that. I've shout out to the brother B. Ivory Lamar, who we had on here.
He's Kool-Aid. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's
had somebody on here too. I mean, we had B. Ivory Lamar on here who spoke about the importance of civil rights lawyers and stuff like that. So I'm appreciative. Ben Crump is all over the place. Earl Henny said he's speaking about the young brother. He had a problem with some white people days before. Mama Jenkins says they be at it. She put a heart sign. Ian said, what day is this messy? You know what? It's funny to me that people are critical of me saying Messy Monday. Y'all know I've gotten actual backlash from saying Messy Monday, because people take themselves so seriously. Like, it is hilarious. That's to
black
me.
Folk,
It's hilarious, though. Once again, so I've tried to explain this before. You can't get mad at me for calling it Messy Monday if you're not mad at me for calling it Outlaw Radio, simply because I made all this shit up. So I can call it Goofy Tuesday. I can call it Taco Tuesday. I can call it, Working Wednesday, Twerking Thursday. It don't matter. It doesn't matter, man. People, but no, I guess, and shout out to the people that felt like, yo, we hold you to this journalistic integrity. Like, nah, man, I joke around. I'm gonna laugh, man. I'm gonna laugh. I'm a joke. That's me. I don't take nothing too serious, because I'm not letting none of this shit put me in the grave, right? And stress and drama and pressure and angst and all that stuff will kill you, man. So I have fun with this shit. So yeah, it's hashtag Messy Monday. Yeah, because, and you know why? And we just proved this shit, because we'll be talking very seriously and very, very eloquently, and somebody like Ewok will call up and say, Orlando suck dick. Is that not messy? Is that like that's?
I was gonna say that, but I let you say it.
Yeah, I mean, but this shit goes like that sometimes. Hey, man, and I encourage people, say what you want to say, right? Like, if somebody get at Orlando and hit him with one of them low blows, and Orlando come back, Orlando will sneak his shit in. Oh, well, your mother actually was a whore. But no, what I was saying was, let's talk about, like, that shit's messy too. I'm gonna laugh at that shit too. Like, I'm just a cheerleader for foolishness sometimes, man. I can't be serious every minute, every hour of the day. When I'm at work, I don't get to joke around a lot. I have to be serious. Like, I have to, because I'm, working with people and trying to help them figure out their situations and whatnot. I can't be joking around and shit like, what you mean you finna get evicted? Ain't that a bitch? What, you broke? I can't be like that. So when I'm on my show, I can just relax a little bit and let Let the Negro whisperer out. So to all the people that said I'm not fucking with Outlaw Radio no more because they do Messy Monday now. Every time we done this show on Monday in the past, it probably was messy anyways, and you didn't know it. As a matter of fact, some of the people participated in the messiness, and now they highbrow. Come on, son. Come on.
Bring back OJ.
Well, you know what? That would be something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think OJ gonna fuck with me. I don't think OJ rocks with me, but I watch his shit. So, and I think he watches some of our shit. Sometimes I see him watch sometimes on the TikTok video. We don't got no issue. But Milwaukee is silo like that. Like I used to reach out to other like podcasters and whatnot and say, yo, I've been doing this shit, come on, let's talk. And I found that like brothers don't want to do that in Milwaukee. That's not what they want to do. They don't want to come on your show. They want to have their own shit, which is cool. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the thing, man. I think everybody needs to get. I mean, that right there, we get our heads together and just come up with some of the solutions for this shit, man. Because I mean, this is cool, and we share difference of opinions and things like that. But sometimes just arguing ain't going, it ain't gonna solve nothing. But it's cool to see to see the other side of the coin. Because shit, and sometimes I've been shit myself until you say it.
I don't. You know what though, Ace? This is the nature of us. Like I would rather my show reflect reality than some fake utopia, right? The reality is when you get us together in a room and we start talking about what ails us and what the solutions are, this is what you get. You're going to get a lot of vitriol. You're going to get a lot of angst. You're going to get people who are so pissed off at the way things are going that they're going to be adamant. They're going to be, black people past me, get to hitting our fists in our hand and shit. No, my mama, and that's black people. So I feel like just to have a space where you can come on here, you can get your shit off and move on. Like, I've never heard any instance where somebody said it was two dudes fighting at a mall. Why was they fighting? Because of some shit that was said on Outlaw Radio. I've never known that to happen. Like that. No, so
listen, I agree with you. I'm saying, take a day out of the month or so just to kind of collab. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm open. Listen, Ace, I don't know how long you've been listening to the show. Do you know how many people have you've been listening 3. I've been doing it for 11. So,
okay.
You know how many people I have actually brought on this show? Like, seriously, politicians, rappers, actors, activists. I have interviewed so many people. I've seen some of the cats you brought on. So I'm always open. Once again, I'm not really about debating. I'm about representing. I don't feel a need to sit and debate with somebody. I'm just going to represent. Like, I know who I am. I know what I stand for. A debate is a waste of time because ain't nobody turning nobody out. Like, even if you won a debate, I'm not going to say, well, since you won, I'm going to switch over. No, that's not how this shit works. So.
Hell yeah, Kim. Hey, but you know what I hate, though? This is what I hate. I'm going to keep it real with you. This is what I hate. And this for, like, every Republican. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I can't say every Republican. I say poor Republicans. There may be some Republicans who got a little money. I hate when people talk bad about Democrats. And the reason I say that is because, we probably are not Democrats, but we have benefited so much from the policies. Yeah, we know Democrats and Republicans, damn it. What y'all say? The same feather different wings on a bird or whatever the shit is. But the fact is, but the fact is that Democrats have passed so many policies that people have been. That's why when the Republicans, because I'm on everybody. I'm 11:30 with Jay Weber and all the conservatives. And this is the question that I present in front of everybody. You could go from Nixon all the way to present day. You probably go back further if you want to. What policies have Republicans passed that we all benefit from today? And they just be like, they can't say nothing.
That's
you know
easy.
What I'm saying? I'm talking. Go ahead.
So, I'm sorry, Dion. I mean, look, bro, I think you cool, but I mean, no offense. I used to be on that Democrat shit too, man. But them motherfuckers lie so fucking much.
But have you benefited from any of their policies, though? Have you ever got unemployment?
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never really been. Matter of fact, I'm independent.
I've gotten some unemployment.
Are you getting any ACA, the Affordable Health Care Act?
No,
No, I
I'm
got
not.
that. Like I said, it's going through my job, and I don't want to talk like. And I get that. I get that.
But see, I'm gonna put everything that the Democrats put out here. And if you benefited from it, regardless if you like this, see, this is my thing. If you don't like them, don't. That's like the other day. I'm gonna tell you, right? I'm gonna give you a short story, and this is how I feel. I was outside mowing my grass. So white guys came to me. They wanted to talk to me about Jesus. I said, for one, I don't want to talk to you because you're white. For two, I don't even want you to talk to me about God because we serve different gods. And I'm serious. I'm dead serious. And I'm lying right now. God can take my breath from me. Kev will tell you one day my boss told me to go to the Mexican school. I got out the car, called him and said, I'd rather be around my own kind. You feel me? So I'm true to this shit. So if I don't like something, I don't want no parts of it. You feel what I'm saying? So if people don't like the Democrats, say fuck that. I don't want the ACA. Say fuck this unemployment. Say fuck getting the FHA loan. Say fuck FMLA. Say fuck voter rights. Say fuck all that because those are things that Democrats pass. Even though we're not saying that the Democrats are for blacks, but they pass policies that make each and every day more livable for us. EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, they make our water we able to drink good, clean water. We able to breathe good air. OSHA. If you work at any company. What?
To be honest, with anybody who supports school choice, all those black families who benefit from school choice, they should say F Republicans. So I don't need my kids to go to Mesmer for free. So anybody who's a gun owner who supports their right to defend their family, should say F.
Yeah, that's one of my reasons.
Hey, listen though, check this out. Check this coming from somebody who listen. Let me tell you something about choice schools. You know who? I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. You know who choice schools hurt? Choice school hurts the parents who actually pay for their kids to go to the school. Okay? Let me tell you why. Because I sent my son to Milwaukee Lutheran and I had to pay. Like I believe over 4 years I paid $15,000. There were people who they didn't pay shit. They was free. And I'm going to be honest with you when I say most of the kids that were troubled, that caused wrinkles in the fabric, were the choice kids, were the voucher kids. I'm going to say it. Fuck it. I don't care. And I felt cheated. That I had to work hard. I felt cheated that I had to come with that tuition like Johnny on the spot. And there were other people who
sound very conservative.
Listen, once again, this is why I'm the party pooper.
I get you.
This is why I'm not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I'm conservative about some things and I'm progressive about some things, right? I'm totally against child molestation, but I'm on the fence with prostitution. I think it should be legalized, right? Like I'm one of those people who feel like we need welfare, but we also need legalized weed. And Milwaukee in particular is the dumbest city in the world because you consistently charge your citizens. The property tax levies up. You're always at a fiscal cliff. You had to go to the state on your knees and beg for money, even though we generate the most tax revenue in this state. Instead of you legalizing recreational marijuana so that you can raise hundreds of millions of dollars in tax revenue. Look at Chicago. Look at Minneapolis. Look at Detroit. We still holding on to this old Harry J. Anslinger bullshit reefer madness. Stop it. You gonna give me some goddamn perks and some Vicodins and some fucking fentanyl and all this shit, but I can't smoke a joint? That makes no sense.
And that's simply to keep the money in the police budget. They want to be able to pull you over. They want to give you those punk ass tickets because they ain't gonna take you to jail for a blunt or a little sack or something like that.
No, they minimize the loss. But Ace, if you generated hundreds of millions of dollars from this, you could give some of that money to the police. You can get real rehab centers. You can give them enough money to build satellite police stations. It's so community intervention units. You could take that money and invest right back into your own community. Wow, that's just
but that's the problem, man. That don't benefit them.
It will benefit them because when it comes to privatized dispensaries, who you think gonna own them? It ain't gonna be us. It's gonna be them.
Shit, let that. Hey, listen, I'm waiting for that. I'm a weed smoker myself. I bet I'll get in on it. Yeah.
Slumdog, shout out to
John Bolton,
shout out to
the
Slumdog
former
20.
Speaker of the House.
Shout
He
out
got
to
a bunch of stock in marijuana.
shout out to Slumdog 20. He said this is where I get it. He said he get his black news
But
from us. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate that, man. If you get your black news from Outlaw Radio, man, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, man. Most definitely. Most definitely. That's for you. I hope we're informative. Even at our most messiest, I hope you still get something out the show. Shout out to you.
Hey, matter of fact, where's Cuz at tonight, man?
I don't know. I don't know. I one thing I don't do is I don't have production meetings. So I don't know. When I cut this motherfucker on, whoever's here is here, and I'm going. Like you know what I mean? Like, shout out to him. I hope he's all right. I hope everything is well for him. But I don't pay. You know what, Ian? I'm sorry, Ace. I don't pay anybody, so I don't make demands on them. If I was paying somebody, and so when you make a donation in that Cash App, it goes to the show. I don't bust it down for this very reason, because I don't put no demands on nobody. Plus, I'm more invested than anybody, so yeah, it goes right back to the machine. So that's why I don't. If you hear, you hear. If you're not, hey man, I told y'all. I'm the type of person that will literally sit up and have a conversation with himself. So it don't bother me to sit here and talk to y'all. Mama Jenkins said that's similar to Milwaukee cops, and most of them can't testify in court. Yeah, we seen that list because of their records. She said she was tired. Well, the MPD, a lot of them when it comes to testifying in court, when they arrest somebody, they can't. Because they've on
the Brady list.
Yeah, they've had too many instances. Ewok said, if you stop lying, you won't get called out. My 8-Ball and MJG song with Mr. Mike need to start telling the truth. Stop lying. Stop exaggerating. Let me see. Orlando is the black Donald Trump on here. That's what Ewok says. Slumdog $20 said, what about Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030? Is that what it said? 21.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing coming up.
Well, we know we got more of it coming, man. We got more of it coming.
Yeah.
Ian said.
Well, I mean, if we know, that means, hey, listen, let's get right. Let's get right. Motherfuckers need to get right, because we already know what they're gonna do. We already know their playbook. You know, so it shouldn't be no surprise.
I'm so tired of that, though. I'm so tired of us telling each other we got to get right. And that's not a shot at what you're saying, Ace. I'm saying at this point, either you know or you don't, right? Like, it's 2025, bruh. Like, it's certain shit you just shouldn't still be on. And we're still on it, wholesale. And so do I feel sorry for people who I see? Okay, so I've been down before, down on my luck. I used to call it in between blessings. I've been down before. I've been in situations where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I got to figure something out. But at no point did I turn into a savage and say, I'm going to take something from somebody else. I operate within what I call the circle of integrity and respect. Off top, it doesn't matter who you are, what color creed you are. I'm going to respect you until you show me you don't deserve my respect. You feel what I'm saying? So when I see people behaving in a certain fashion, I feel like there's no excuse for that. I feel like the fact that you're willing to run through our community crazy, jeopardize other people's lives, hurt our own people, destroy our community, it makes me have no sympathy or empathy for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why you say some stuff I might be a little conservative in, because I do believe do the crime, do the time.
I'm with you.
So the problem is when we look at our justice system, when it comes to us, it's so unbalanced. It's so disproportionate. The conviction rates don't even make sense. I just tell you, Puffy got 4 years for a Mann Act. And I wish I knew this politician's name, because I heard D.L. Hewley talking about him. He's having sex with an 8-year-old. He got 6 months.
He had sex with an 8-year-old?
Yes. It's documented, convicted of it. And he got 6 months in prison.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so
he should have been gone for some time.
Right, it's always disproportionate when it comes to, and that's my problem, because I can say, hey man, if you do the crime, you should go to jail. But then you see a lot of brothers go to court and get railroaded. Yeah, you done a crime, but does the punishment fit the crime? You shouldn't have 15 years for a nickel bag of weed. Not saying somebody does. I'm saying these convictions they're disproportionate, in which you'll see some of them walk out the courtroom because, oh, he's just a struggling young man he's a predator. It's a savage criminal. Like it's disproportionate. So that kind of makes me side eye our whole thing. Like, yo, we can't even do what's right the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Truthfully, Kev, no offense. I think the motherfucker, if the people with integrity, law-abiding citizens, I really think they do outnumber the criminals. And honestly, dude, it's just, I think sometimes we need to take care of our own shit because they ain't gonna do it. Matter of fact, if the motherfucker out here killing, they gonna leave him in there. He's doing their job for him. You know, because I'm tired of that shit too. You know, matter of fact, I sent you that link with Wack when he told motherfuckers that he's like, man, we sitting here looking up to a nigga with a 5th grade education. He might have shot a motherfucker in a liquor store, and basically he went to jail, and we just giving him all this praise, and he's running these neighborhoods, but he don't know what the word escrow or credit score means. You get what I'm saying? It's time to let these motherfuckers go.
Hold on, Ace. You can't call Dion out like that. He's on the phone.
Who am I talking about?
Orlando, he talking about Wack 100. See, that's why you stay in some shit. Cause that man ain't said nothing to you, man.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I thought my fault.
One of the most motherfuckers.
My fault, Ace.
On here. He acknowledged this shit. He straightened his life out. So, bro, man, that was a low blow, man. You dirty for that.
My fault. I thought he said him. I thought he was referring to him.
Oh my God. Listen, man. This is Ian Jordan. This is Ian Jordan in the chat room. He said just cooning. He's just cooning in my Gerald Levert voice. Brenda Peters said every part of Project 2025 is complete BS. Slumdog $20. He said, I have white news fatigue from hearing about SDGs. SDGs. What's SDG? Anybody know what that is? SDGs?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Brenda Peterson said public education is absolutely necessary. And I thought at one point that was what people considered a necessity of a democracy, is to have public education, because the idea was education, a quality education should be free to every individual. You shouldn't have to pay tuition. That's supposed to be the thing. So now we're saying we want to get rid of it. Like what?
No, the keyword you said quality. So definitely, if you find a great school, man, I'm with a great public school like Rivers King or Riverside. I'm with that. Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, so they're all not created equal. That's what it is. That has a lot to do with the way the city is set up as well. First of all, you got to understand Milwaukee is a very segregated city. And what Milwaukee does is they pack the poorest people into the tightest areas. So you look at 53206 and you look at the median incomes, it's intentionally done to place all these poor people in the same area. So if there's a school in that area that's serviced by that neighborhood, you're going to get a whole bunch of poor kids. And let's be honest, let's be honest about something else. All of these kids in these struggling schools are not bad. There's some kids in these, and this is my experience as a public school teacher for MPS. I done been in the worst schools, and there was a group of kids that was working their ass off that you didn't have no problem out of, that you could say, hey, man, y'all chill. All right, Mr. Barnes. All right, Mr. Barnes. They're kids. Was there some in there that you like, oh, man, he's a bit of too much of a challenge? Yeah, but they paint this picture, and it's not the kid's fault. Now, what happens is, what concerns me the most with our public school system is you got a 50% truancy rate. You got a 50% truancy rate.
Whose fault is that?
Once again, whose fault? Whose fault is it?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened from the time we were in school to now.
Crack.
I mean, but I've been gone for 20 years. So I'm like, man, I wish I knew.
Crack.
You know, and the craziest thing is, I was just there on the east side, me and my brother, and well, yeah, it was crack.
Crack. Crack
There
got
you,
it.
there you, there you go. There you
The
go.
one who's ran down, man.
There you go, Acer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But Crack was there when we were there. You know
Well, but you got and look, Ace, that it was a sharp decline in everything once it hit too. The quality took a dip, the diversity took a dip, everything about it, the family structure took a dip. This is the long-term effects of it, because now you got the great grandbabies of crackheads in some of these instances. These is great grandbabies of crackheads. If you was a hip crackhead in the 80s, you probably got great grandchildren by now if you was, 20, 30 years old. That's 40 years ago.
There's something about white sugar booger and white bunnies. I just got to refer to Ian George. There's something about that. There's a correlation somewhere around there. Somewhere.
Say that again.
He's taking shots at Ian. I'm trying not to be messy on a Monday.
A lot of people, man.
Orlando wants it to be messy Monday. Brenda Peterson said Trump is dumping the rural. She said he's dumping the rural communities when talking about getting rid of public education. How do you think up northern Wisconsin will like that and what they are going to do? 0 private schools up there. Nobody's getting their ass handed to them more than farmers right now. Trump's tariffs are beating the shit out of farmers. And a lot of them were so pro-Trump, especially in northern rural Wisconsin, where they're growing the cranberries at. And they have the corn, and they have what little cows are left or whatever it is. And these tariffs is tearing them a new one. And they're coming out every day. And then the subsidies are gone. A lot of people don't know large farms were being given federal subsidies because we need an agricultural infrastructure. And a lot of them have lost their subsidies. So Trump's policies are really hurting farmers.
I would say this. I think there definitely are some pain to some of the tariffs, but there also will be some gain. I also don't support farmers. I don't support farmers hiring illegals who are over visa status.
Well,
I think
you can say that, but your president came back and reversed his policy on that, like it's hurting him a little too much. He eased the policy on hiring the immigrants.
So I think there should be a better worker visa policy that gives more time. That worker visa should not be a pathway to citizenship, it definitely should not be a pathway to voting.
It should be a pathway to citizenship. If you come here and work your ass off and contribute to the economy, you got a right to be a citizen.
Well, I'll give you this. I'm open to the discussion, but they don't get that right away.
Well, you could be open to it, but anytime I put money in the coffer, because you're going to take your federal taxes out of my paycheck. Or I'm going to go spend some money in this country, which is going to help the economy. Either way it goes, I'm contributing. If I'm not a criminal, and I say, hey, I've been working in this country, I've been working, and you can find where I pay taxes, I should be allowed to have a shot at becoming a citizen.
Or pay the wages that will hire and attract black men.
Black people are not going to be pickers. We're not doing that. You know that. That's not, because listen, if we were going to do it, we'd already be doing it. Black people want no part. There's a lot of people in this country, a lot of races, just like white people. They want no part of that.
So we don't have. So you just talked about the black farmers. So we don't have black farmers who are growing in the South, and also have farmers.
I said pickers. I didn't say farmers. There's a difference between me. There's a difference. Listen, there's a difference between me owning a large farm and me coming in seasonally and picking crops. There's a difference, and you know that. Come on.
But those black farmers also grow crops that need to be picked. Are we not?
They're not pickers. That you don't try to. You trying to split hairs, and that shit don't work with me. I told you this before. That shit doesn't work. So, there's a difference between the man who owns the farm and the seasonal worker who comes in to pick the crops. There's a distinct difference.
I'm saying, Kev, if you're trying to say that we black men would not pick if the money was right, we got black farmers growing crops in the South. So you're going to tell me they can't hire black people? Is that what you're saying?
They can. Black people, that's not who comes for the jobs. That's not who works those positions. Why are you're not being real? Your own president had to reverse his direction because this is who is working these jobs. It's what they do. That's not something that we do.
Yeah, because they don't pay shit. They don't pay shit.
Pay the money, and you'll get men who love agriculture. That's like you and your brother with animal lovers.
I don't think. First of all, it's not beneficial to the farm to have to pay for benefit, because what Americans want is benefits, and we want a reasonable wage. These farmers don't make enough money to pay that. They're not. You can't give pickers $25 an hour plus medical care. They go bankrupt. They can get by with these regional workers because they'll have some sort of COBRA or something, or they sneak to the hospital under a different name. But the farmers, they can't afford to give them a benefits package. Like, here you go, Julio. I get you vision. I give you health. I give you hearing. I give you dental. They can't do it, man.
We can't be supporters of minimum wage increases if you want to say farmers are exempt and they don't have the same ability or should have the same freedom to pay a fair wage for a family. You can't be an advocate of family wages, Kev, but say, well, exempting farmers though. Like, how does that work?
I didn't exempt farmers. What I said, I'm speaking to the reality of the situation. You talking like a dreamer. The reality is they can't afford it. This is why they pay these individuals these lower wages, and they come and do those jobs, and we won't. That's why, unless they raise them up, and if they done lost their subsidies and the tariffs are tearing them a new asshole, they really can't raise the wage now for people to travel up north and pick cranberries or whatever it is. I'm talking about the reality. You trying to make a point, but the point is mute, because paying minimum wage, raising minimum wage is different. Raising minimum wage at Walmart is different, and they have to do it. The stores, the department stores are regulated. These businesses they're regulated. They have to do it because they don't. What they will do is they will outsource the company. I've been calling customer service lines all weekend for different things, and there's not an American on the line. Hello, thank you for calling PayPal. Thank you for calling Amazon. Thank you for calling Microsoft. None of these motherfuckers is American. They put them jobs when it gets too high, they outsource. That's what outsourcing is. Who is this? Ian, he says, as a conservative, he shouldn't support Trump's expansion of government. These dudes are a joke and go where their bread is buttered. Orlando won't even stand publicly with his kids in zip ties. He has to go and get that paycheck. He said, no one with integrity doubles down on Trump. Slumdog said, I seen Trump was going to give $2,000 checks. He said, I seen Trump was going to give $2,000 checks with money from tariffs. Well, I didn't see that. Is there a stimulus coming? Anybody else see that?
I don't believe it is a lot.
Did y'all? I didn't even see that. Maybe I missed it. I don't see everything.
It was a conversation that Trump talked about maybe doing a rebate check. He talked about.
Oh, it was a conversation. Okay, it was okay. Thank you. It was a conversation. Okay.
He's talking about it.
Brenda says, but they voted for him, so I'm not feeling real sorry for them. But it's still a good question. Yeah, they did vote for him. That's why we getting what we deserve. Ewok says, where's the 17 trillion Trump says he already has? That's enough to solve all our problems. Where is it, Orlando? Slumdog says, good point, Kev. Your rebuttal on your rebuttal from Orlando. Mama Jenkins said, what happened to ending the war and the price of eggs going down? Yeah, he ain't ended no war. He said he was. Listen, they still fight. Russia's still fighting. Israel's still fighting. But Trump said, ended the war.
We're close to a treaty now, so let's continue to
say that again.
Pray for the treaty.
No, but he said, but he said, no, we close to it, but it ain't signed. He said months ago, I ended 5 wars since they're scared to go to war since I've been in office. Yeah, that was a lie. It was a blatant lie. He didn't end shit. They still fighting. They're still fighting.
Not this one, but he did end a few different wars.
What war?
Battles between countries.
But the ones he was talking about, he didn't end. He lied because he didn't end. He didn't stop Israel from attacking Palestine, and he didn't stop Russia. As much big shit as he talked, he didn't stop Russia. Russia's still bombing the shit out of Ukraine.
It's a little bit more to it, Kev. So just hold
are they or not? Are they still fighting?
They are on
yes
the
or no? Yes or no? Are they still fighting right now? Are they still fighting
right now?
Okay, so then there ain't nothing else to it. It ain't nothing else to it. Until that treaty is signed, it ain't nothing else to it. And he can't tell Russia shit because Putin will tell him to kiss his ass.
But when it happens,
Brenda Peterson said, like, it's your damn show. Call it what you want. They better take their blood pressure pill if they have an issue. Shout out to you, Brenda Peterson. Look, I'm not never worried about what people think about me. Trust me. I've been myself a very long time. I just it's just a point of reference because I know some people they don't like that just because I say Messy Monday and I'm just giving a name to something that was already there because this discourse has been here since we've been doing the show. Years and years have gone by where people get their shit read on the show. Like I just put a name to it. So it's just like, okay, we don't like that. Earl, you said he do, Kevin. What we talking about? She said, this is Brenda. She said, I have to admit, I look forward to Messy Mondays. I hope you do. I hope everybody does. Slumdog, I appreciate you keeping us up on this Brewer thing, man. He said 3-run home run, Brewers 7-3. Orlando Owens is calling somebody silly. Slumdog said he smoked out now. He done fucked around, got chiefed up, man. Yeah, man, blow one for the show, man. Blow one for the show. Ian says, I paid my daughter to go to I paid for my daughter to go to DSHA, and the clowns that caused trouble were there for free. I ain't gonna say I shouldn't have said that. I was trying to make a point. I know not all of those choice kids were the problem. Maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. But a lot of issues. I did say it that way, Orlando. I'm not always right. Yeah, you know, I'm not. I don't always say things the correct way. It's just like I felt like as a former special education teacher, when we mainstreamed special ed students, it hurt regular ed students. I feel still to this day, I feel like special education students should have their own school. I feel like they should have their own school with dedicated specific facilities instead of us, because it's like this culture where everybody who plays gets a trophy. No, your ass didn't do nothing. You don't get no trophy. You go over there with the kids who didn't get trophies. So
that's against the liberal mindset. But I would take.
Well, I'm not a liberal. Right. I'm not a liberal. So I'm not a liberal.
Many of your followers are. So I'll just say this.
Well, they're not my followers. They're my supporters. That not my followers.
Your support. I'll correct them. I will correct my vernacular. But a lot of your concerns about the high school component can be said the same thing about the college component. There are many parents who are paying full tuition, and people there who are on financial aid or some type of scholarship that may not be one how we want to define it, but yeah, everybody, you may have a little bit more something to say when you're paying full tuition and seeing what's going on at your school.
I can tell you like this. If you want to go there, I got 2 kids that have been to college, and I can tell you we didn't get breaks. We didn't get breaks. Even when they had scholarships or grants, we still had to kick in like Errol Flynn. Now, my parents were legally poor by the government's definition of it. They looked at how much money my parents made. There's a thing, when you get to this, you'll figure it out. If you do a FAFSA, they're going to give you a letter with what's called an EFC, which means estimated family contribution. That's after they go through all your tax revenue, all your tax information. So when you go to college, it used to be, or I think it still is to a certain degree, that if your parents don't make enough money, then you get help. There's nothing wrong with that. And if we can make an argument that the scholarship students who got Pell Grants and shit like that came into a school and fucked it up, then I would understand it. But I'm not going to say, well, poor people shouldn't get opportunities or assistance for their children to go to school. That's why I said I kind of feel bad that I said that about choice schools, because just because you poor doesn't mean you should be disqualified from going to a quality institution. And but at the same time, when you bring those poor people problems, that poor people behavior to a school where it's really a productive learning environment, then I got a problem with it. I'm
gonna help you. It sounds like you dig yourself a hole, because it sounds like you're shitting on the poor.
That's fine if that's the way you feel. It don't matter to me. You could call me. I don't give a fuck that don't mean nothing to me. I'm not sure. Nobody has worked with the poor more than me. At least on this panel.
Fair.
I've worked with it, and I do it because I love to help people. So you could say you shitting on the poor. I'm shitting on people that don't change their mentality and their methodology. I'm shitting on poor people who want to stay poor. Now, if you're gonna say I'm shitting on some poor people, let's say that I'm shitting on poor people who want to be poor. If you're a poor person, you say, I'm striving, Kevin. I'm trying to get up out of here. I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to change our legacy. I'm going to say, I got you. What do you need? But if you like, yeah, man, I don't get no fuck, man. It is what it is, nigga. This the hood. Nigga, I'm going to take your shit. I'm going to say, nigga, fuck you too. So it's my mentality to be like, if it's fuck me, it's fuck you. Right? I always tell people this. If you say, I don't like Kevin, I want you to know, and I promise you, I dislike you more. You can't dislike me more than I dislike you, especially once I find out you don't like me. Now it's on. Now we don't like each other. But the way I do it is I just act like you don't exist. There's no need for me to come and try to be aggressive with you. To me, you just don't exist. You live on the planet Boudreaux. I've never been there before. Mama Jenkins is in the chat room. She says, my son went to Dominican, and now it's a J school, a Joy school. That's a choice school. Back in 1985, you paid to go there, and it wasn't cheap either. But now it's yeah, it is. Dominican has done a pretty good job though of keeping their standards up, right? Dominican is one of those choice schools where they be like, nah, you know, and they have to learn how to pimp that.
I think we got to be clear what choice schools and vouchers really are. What it really is are schools that choose to participate in the voucher program, like Dominican, let's say Dominican or Thomas More, Marquette. They may only take 15 choice students because they are still private tuition driven.
Yeah.
So they don't take an influx of a whole. 90% of their tuition is not from the voucher program. So
That's right.
To your point, there are some schools that we only gonna have 15 students. Marquette, we only gonna do 20 students from the voucher program. Everybody else is gonna be on scholarship or they pay.
That's right. And yeah, you're not wrong, but I think a school like Milwaukee Lutheran, it happened so fast because they were able to maintain for a very long time. The school was majority white. It's like a 3-4 year period where it just really flipped very hard. And the further MPS fell, the more the choice schools and the voucher schools attendance and enrollment increased. But I see them regulating it now, Orlando. But what has to happen for them, see what saves Marquette and Wisconsin Lutheran is their white people are still the people who, I shouldn't say just white, but the people who can afford it are still sending their children there, right? They're still sending their kids. So you take a school like Milwaukee Lutheran where once the blacks came, a lot of those white parents said, we live in Tulsa. You're not going there. You finna go right down the street to Tulsa East or Tulsa West or the Brookfield Central. So they moved their kids. So they had to admit more choice schools to keep the bread coming in. You see what I'm saying?
You're right. And donations went down from the alumni. Fundraising kind of dried up. So they took the path of
it's still
more
strong.
Schools.
It's still strong because I say this. As much as I paid, my son still got a scholarship from alum. They have an alumni fund, and they have the kids write to the people who contributed to their scholarship. So they still have a strong, and I think that's why they're doing so much to make it better now. Because when you go to those homecoming games and all that, and I used to go see my son at sporting events, you see very, very old white people with class of 59 and class of 67 and all this on their sweaters. And these are people who are giving money. They're still saying, no, I want to see it. So, yeah, I mean, but you just have to learn how to manage it. He said, who's overcharging people? Or Slumdog said overcharging people. Ian said, Orlando Owens. So he said, no, you don't, grifter. He said, or Earl said, Orlando don't go to the family reunion. Slumdog said farms did have approval of $10 billion in subsidies. For $10 billion, he said, do you want an apple for $50 if you right? If you them crops gonna go up. A goddamn bag of grapes would be $35, right? He said the cost of the crop increases. This is Ian. I'm gonna get through these chat rooms and I'm gonna get up out of here. Orlando says anything, LOL. He knows brothers don't pick. Tell him to get his grifter ass out there and pick some strawberries. How can you pay more than the margins? Pay more when the margins are so thin? Orlando spews nonsensical Republican talking points. Ewok said, he said, nah, ask Orlando where that money at. Brenda Peterson said, like Minnesota does. She said, Level 3 and level 4 setting schools. Level 4 buses kids from juvenile facilities too. EBD on one side and Sun side. Autism kids with higher needs. Also, they do have separate facilities. Okay. He says, Kevin Barnes, your supporters think for themselves. Orlando doesn't think for himself, so every free-thinking black man is a liberal to him. Dudes say what they tell him. He also goes in front of white audiences and says slavery didn't help build America. Ha ha, this nigga LOL. He did send me a clip of you insinuating that slavery didn't help in the building of America. Like slaves didn't help build America.
Never said that.
That's what it sounded like on the soundbite that he sent me.
Never said that, and it's been debunked. And Ian is, again, this is why he's a bottom dweller, and he's a boot licking whatever he want to call himself. Go out with the bunny and be cool with the bunny in the bunny cave, my friend. Let's be with the bunny.
All right, listen. So I'm gonna get out of here, but I do want to say this. We don't really talk about sports, and I keep saying I'm gonna do a show about sports. I love sports. I love football in particular. Football.
Jacksonville just beat Kansas City.
And so what I wanted to talk about, because I'm not gonna get to do it because it's getting late, but I do want to touch on one thing. The basketball season is about to start, and the Bucks have retooled. I felt like over the last few years, the Bucks' issue was that they were just a little too old. I felt like athletically and age-wise, they couldn't really keep up with the rest of the teams in the NBA. Of course, you had Giannis. Of course, you had what's my man name who just left? Dame Lillard. You've had all these people. But the team, Brook Lopez, you had all these players, but everybody was old. I was slow. I wasn't athletic. I wasn't above the rim. I wasn't quick twitch. And they have retooled this team to be younger and more athletic. And I'm tired of Giannis Antetokounmpo holding our city hostage. Every time we get ready to play, is he leaving? Is he staying? Is he staying? Is he leaving? First of all, the conversation shouldn't be up about whether or not Giannis is leaving because the Bucks haven't won a championship when out of the last 3 years, he missed the playoffs because of injury. So you can't say they ain't doing enough to win when you ain't even playing. Second of all, you're maxed out in terms of salary. Now, if you go to a bigger market, you'll be seeing more. If you go to a bigger market, you'll maybe make more commercials. But the fact of the matter is Giannis is not American. Giannis does not speak the most fluent English, and he doesn't really identify with American players. This is proven. He goes overseas and plays for Greece in the offseason. So he's not going to get that many more endorsements. So, Giannis, if you want to leave, kick rocks. One thing you can't do to me is keep saying, I'm going to take my ball and leave. I'm going to take my ball and leave. Eventually, you're going to have to take that ball and leave. Okay? Now, if you say, are we doing enough to win? Are you doing enough to win the title? Are you distributing the ball, sharing with your teammates? Are you healthy? Are you doing the things that it takes to win it? It takes a whole bunch of different things to win a championship. Yeah, you score a lot of points. Yeah, you have plenty of accolades, but that doesn't give you the right to hold a city in which 40% of the black population lives below the poverty line. You're making $50 million a year to play basketball, and you keep talking about you going to leave. Well, if that's the case, get the fuck out. Bye. It's one of the things where I tell people, when they say, I hate Milwaukee, and I'm getting out of here, and I say, you know what, that's cool. I understand, and there's better places where you may be able to advance more. But don't just keep saying you going to leave. Get the fuck out so we can unite with the people who are going to stay and fight. Because I need to know who's going to have my back when this shit go down. I'm saying that to Giannis. Listen, if you want to leave, first of all, you're still under contract. So all that shit about I want to leave, I want to demand a trade. What we're going to demand is 7 first-round draft picks. Of course, we have none now because we just gave them up for the young boy. But I'm just saying, if we trade Giannis, we can get them back. Or you got money. You've shown that you're willing to pay somebody a supermax contract. Go get another star, man. The ass kissing has to stop. It has to stop. It has to stop. So Slumdog is saying you want, and no, we don't want Embiid. Embiid's trash bag. We don't want Embiid. He said we love having a Giannis in Philly. I bet you would. I bet you would. But that don't mean y'all gonna win a championship because you get Giannis. Okay. There's a bunch of other people who balled in order for us to get that title, and we had a lot of luck too. Remember how close KD foot was to that line, and a lot of people got hurt fucking with Giannis to step on his foot and shit. So, you know, I'm just saying, go ahead, Giannis. Like it's like the whole Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers situation. Am I gonna retire? I don't know. I might retire. I don't know. Do I still want to be here? Please just leave. Please just leave if you don't want to be here. You're causing a distraction. I don't know who Orlando is going at in the chat room. Let me go before I go. I got to get out of here, y'all. This is I don't want to miss. He said
well,
he
I'm
wants
out of the chatter.
Slumdog said 7 first rounds. LOL. Well, if they want him, they'll give it up. That's what we did. See, we gave up money. We put ourselves in debt so we can get rid of Dame, and people was all emotional. I'm like, he's hurt. He's giving you nothing. So you got to get rid of him. So, you know, and I like Dame Lillard as a player, but that experiment didn't work. So they gave the money to the youngster. And I feel like he's going to be a better addition to our team because I think we needed big men. And I think we needed a physical, young presence down there, down low. So this is going to be very interesting to see the Bucks this season. And, you know, they spent so much money. I don't think anybody can say they ain't doing enough to win. They spend so much money. This is the smallest market in the NBA, and they paying the luxury tax. So they've done enough to win. I got to get out of here, y'all. I've had a tremendous time with y'all tonight. Please share the show. It's always my pleasure to do Outlaw Radio Live on Monday. Messy Monday.
All right,
I want y'all to tune in Wednesday, man. We'll be back, and we're going to be less messy. Psych. It's probably going to be even more messy on Wednesdays. But whatever it is, it's going to be truth, and it's going to be real, and it's going to be from the heart. There's a scholar who we've grown up and we've become accustomed to bearing witness to his tidbits of knowledge. He goes by the name of Willie Dennis, who once said, if your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution to it, you're probably a coon. Ask yourself, which one are you? I see y'all Wednesday, man. Peace and love.